Game number 1, MbL+Nicov against Liereyy+Hera here in the semifinals. Best of 7 coming our way, and we will jump into the action.
Indeed, indeed. So, getting started right here, if you are all loaded up with capture age, you will have Hera in the purple to the south of the map as the Indians. Of course, his partner in crime will be Mr. Liereyy over to the west in the green as the Huns, already with the stable coming out. And same for MbL in the yellow to the northwest. Also, as the Huns, should be seeing a lot of scouts very early on. And finally, Nicov will be in the northeast in the blue as the Chinese. So it is Chinese versus Indians as a difference with both teams opting for the Huns. And yeah, with these sorts of settings, I would assume we'd see a lot of fast scout play.
Yeah, so do I as well. And look at that, Hera instantly building a market, allowing yourself to buy 200 food. So he will have a lot of scout in production. As you can see, queued up 2 and now sold 100 wood even to get back to 100 gold. So instant move there, and well, what a nice play. And he will have a lot of scouts and instant bloodlines for himself. He will be the dominating player at the start of the game.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's pretty cool that you can do that. Is, I guess, showing that there is some level of preparation going on, or some sort of adjustment as you need to do for this very different start. You can see MbL, no matter what the settings are, is going to be trying to wall.
Well,
Doesn't matter that it's Feudal Age start, doesn't matter that he's Huns. When in doubt, wall it out. And looks like he'll be just fine defending for the time being, as he is, of course, going to be even with Liereyy. But it looks like Liereyy might be trying to shift over to attack Nicov. In conjunction with Hera over here.
yeah, so far not a single kill. As we can see, KD guys, we have villager numbers in the brackets. We have idle villagers. Behind that is the military count and the resources gathered. And now we might see the first engagement here. All players together except Mr. MbL, who's lacking behind a bit. And Nicov, he could get caught off guard with the villager at the top there.
He could, but that was some very nice quick housing right there. Oh, might lose a villager over to the left. Does indeed do so, but the scouts for the Southern AM team definitely looking quite low in HP, but I guess getting that villager snag is always going to be nice early on. But not too much damage. It looks like, yeah, these villagers should be safe on the woodline for Nicov.
Yeah, not having a gate in there, so they are kind of trapped for now. MbL is now coming over. I'm a bit surprised that Hera, with his approach, didn't go for any bloodlines so far. But, well, 6 military for him. Same for Liereyy. As you can see, Team AM, Seed 1, Team 2 in the listing here. Only with 8 military to 14 now.
Yeah, that is a pretty massive advantage, obviously, in favor of Team AM Micro. And
We can call them. I think AM Micro against AM Macro is a good name.
yeah, I think it works out pretty well, actually. You can see they're trying to find a little bit of a way into MbL's base, but oh no, this man is totally walled. They're not finding any way in with scouts.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised that MbL didn't even build a palisade gate there, so he is just super happy with being, yeah, in the status quo. No one getting in, no one getting out.
No way in, no way out, indeed. Not even having a mill yet. Just full wall yourself before even making a mill. Seems good.
Yeah, and a lot of villagers on wood, so he can go into a lot of farming. Now the double Bacts, the first upgrade of the game, finished for Liereyy here. Wants to take the eco approach. Hera so far, not really the eco approach. A lot of villagers here on sheep. Not too many kills, although we have a lot of scouts out on the map.
Yeah, lots of scouts running around, but without any of these players going for archers, I guess you're not really going to be able to get around any sort of palisade attempts, and as it seems that all players have been trying to do that, has forestallen most of the damage so far. We can see that Nicov is actually going to be our first player to opt for the bloodlines. Of course, going to get a little bit of a discount as Chinese, just going to have the powerful start in general. Actually, what are the sheep settings for these maps?
8 sheep, absolutely standard. And
do you start with any under your TC, I guess?
I think I opted for the ECL map, but it's not that important, right? You have the extra vision starting in Feudal Age, your scout has extra vision as well, and now we have Nicov jumping in here. Can he catch a villager? I think maybe one. Yeah, looks like one, but MbL is here in here as well.
Yeah, indeed. And honestly, Hera was the least walled out of all these players, and it's going to be becoming a problem. You can see Liereyy trying to swoop in through that hole in the gold mine to the north, and looks like might be catching Nikov's scouts out a little bit. Not many villagers actually jumping into the TC in time. So that was a pretty decent raid there, I would say, overall, for Nicov. Actually now 5 villagers ahead of Hera. I mean, yes, he is Chinese, but that is still a pretty big advantage this early on.
Yeah, I think he was only ahead by 1 or 2 at one point, so he did clearly catch up here. Now military count, only 3 more the advantage at the moment. And Hera, he also got shown that there was another hole at the gold. Do we see any big scout engagements 2v2 pretty soon, or is it more that AM Micro needs to run for now?
Well, it looks like Hera lost another scout, but yeah, I think they might need to play at least a little bit more cautiously for the time being. I guess we do see the market in... We saw that like right away from Hera. I guess that was just to buy resources.
And also get cartography.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. With the cartography, you're going to be able to take the fight so much more easily as a duo, which is going to be so important at this very early stage with all these scouts that can just get picked off so easily from one another. But we are actually seeing an archery range transition coming in here for Mr. Liereyy. I think that is the first non-scout unit attempt that we're going to be seeing this game.
Indeed. You're starting with 300 gold on those settings here with medium resources. And that means you still need to get onto some more gold if you want to build more than 6 archers. But the first 6 are kind of free.
But to build 1 archer, you need an archery range, and not losing 2 villagers, having the DauT archery range, the archery range that you knew you never wanted, and that's going to be a bit of a problem.
Okay, let's take a look. Barry's now empty for Liereyy as well, wants to wall his villagers, is getting out there, and MbL is getting caught off guard. Overall villager count, as we can see, accumulated numbers here 59 and 62, somewhat even. Military count 10 and 11. It's tough to be closer together than that.
I mean, you can try. You can have that 1 extra military.
Or 1 less.
Come on,
it goes either way.
That's true, that's true. But yeah, as you're saying, very sort of passive standard. With these teams involved, you're not really, I think, going to be seeing anything too crazy. Definitely much more focused on the more standard play. MbL will be our first player up to the castle age. Maybe Nicov can snipe a villager here. The scouts are trying to surround the villager. Probably won't be open to happen, though.
Yeah, I don't really see that happening. We have bloodlines for Nicov, though. MbL, as you said, is going up, and a nice quick wall behind there. Nicov, he is taking quite some damage.
Indeed, indeed. And okay, here's the archery range coming in from MbL. I was wondering who was going to be the player to make that transition. I would assume they would probably be for cav archers, actually, just because you're not really having that archer production to begin with. And I think Liereyy will probably be doing the same thing. Maybe he wanted to go for archers, as we can see MbL getting even another villager kill right there. Very nice for him. Oh, Nicov even sniping in the south. These gold villagers, they are not too happy.
And I think Nicov should have even committed there, don't you think so? Because scouts, they will lose in value now that everyone is going towards Castle Age. And we will see camels, we will see a lot of knights, maybe some CA from MbL, very likely CA from MbL. And I think just investing 3-4 scouts there to get 2 more villager kills would have absolutely been worth it.
Yeah, totally agree. I don't think you'll be seeing a ton of monks early on, which is usually the only possible use for scouts at that point in the game. But other than that, yeah, probably just going to be prioritizing the villager kills. Second stable coming in here for Hera. So we should be seeing possibly some camel wars, because of course Chinese do have camels. Probably, or do you think that Nicov is going to want to go for the knights, or is he going to want to try and go for a camel war?
Depends on how many CAs we can get. If we have mass CA, maybe knights are a bit better, but if we are just facing CA camel, maybe just going for camel yourself could be a bit better, but then technically AM Micro should have the advantage.
Yeah, totally. Just the power of Indians right there. going to be having that extra Pierce armor for those camels. Of course, Cav Archers are coming in for MbL, first player up to Castle Age. Liereyy, not too far behind, but obviously took a little bit of rating damage. Going to be both players going for the triple archery range play. And even a very quick university coming in for Liereyy, so he really wants to get those Cav Archers rolling and out micro MbL.
Yeah, that's something that he loves to do. Now we have another raid at the gold, as we just saw from the overview. Everyone kind of in their home base and not a lot of army going around. That was the last raid. I think he got one more villager. The other one was walled quite beautifully here. And now we have some scouts left for Liereyy. I said there won't do much. Let's take a look if he maybe gets some more intel. But MbL, he is now attacking and he's coming over with his CA.
Yeah, and he's got a decent amount, already having bloodlines +2/+1. Liereyy, I guess, missing that armor upgrade. Just going to be mostly down to the micro. Ballistics, I'm not sure if that's in just yet for Liereyy, and maybe these extra scouts from MbL can make a little bit of a difference.
He's running around. Scouts of Liereyy missing. Now we see some microing here. Scouts are coming over from the right hand side. But we have some knights from Nicov. They could be really nice as well. Those CA from Liereyy don't have any defense upgrades. Only the attack upgrade for them. Now the move in here. This looks tricky. Camels and knights really helping out here from Nicov. Liereyy in some troubles, but camels are coming over from Hera as well.
Yep, Hera a little bit late to the party. I think, yep, another villager going down for Liereyy. He's just been taking these sort of fractional villager losses for what feels like most of the game so far, as it's been very action-packed. But here we come. The Indian camels with that extra Pierce armor are going to be quite good, but not if there's only, like, one of them. Where's Hera's camels, man?
Oh, he has 10 military. He's trying to send some over. He got baited a bit down there, trying to chase some of Nico's army, but that left the gold spot of Liereyy out in the open and completely unprotected. It's not looking great for our Austrian.
Not at all. Are they just going to snowball? They, of course, being AM macro. We have Thumbring now in for MbL as well. And yeah, wow. That was swift and brutal from our AM macro team.
Oh man, and Liereyy kind of the only guy really refusing to be walled here. And he had, in my opinion, an okayish map to wall. Especially like at the front there. The archer ranges could have been a bit more in line. Some more walls at the front. He just played this very open and AM macro absolutely punished him for that.
Yeah, it really was just a beautiful punish from our northern AM team here. Just really sort of recognizing, okay, Liereyy, he's someone who doesn't really love to wall. It's just something that we've seen in Liereyy constantly. And, well, he wasn't walled here, and just going for the double team after you already got some damage in onto Hera worked out really well. And in a 20-minute game that saw mid-Castle Age, that was some fast Age of Empires.
Well, that's how the settings work, right? And we will take a look. What is the next game going to be? We will have Chaos Pit coming up. And now we can take a quick look into the achievements here for game number 1. What do I need to look at?
Nicov had a really pretty kill-death ratio for such a short game. 26 kills to 12 deaths. It's always something to be happy about. And overall, just seems pretty, I think, cut and dry. Looks like just some solid macro from AM macro.
Okay, yeah, well, story and names checks out. Villager count, a bit higher for them. But yeah, that's obviously because Liereyy lost quite a bit here. And, well, this is the action we should get used to see with those settings here. Feudal Age start, medium resources, no Stonewalls in Feudal Age, no Stone Gates either.
I didn't know that bit. That's something to learn. Yes, that definitely would be impactful. But even just having those palisade walls, you can see what a difference it made for everyone who opted for that.
Yeah. Well, did we have spots like Nicov was kind of open at one point, but he walled to the TC. Hera created his own base, and
MbL was full walled by minute 3.
Yeah, well, just MbL things.
Just MbL things, indeed. But yeah, that was an interesting game number 1. Chaos Pit for game number 2. what should we expect to see here, Nilly? I have absolutely no idea.
Well, we don't have any boars, and we're starting with 2 berry bushes. So Franks seem to be a really good choice. And since we are starting without any gold in the actual chaos pit itself, Byzantines have been seen as a nice choice as well.
Yeah, that makes plenty of sense to me. Go for the early tower. Do you still have the 2 tiles of stone?
I think in this generation you even have 2 tiles twice, I believe.
Oh, okay, so 4 total tiles. That seems...
I think so. But not... Well, I should have known this.
No, but yeah, yeah, definitely tower rushing is going to be quite powerful. Actually, someone in my chat brings up a good point. Ethiopians, do they start with an extra +100/+100?
Yes, they do.
That might be
So
pretty nice.
600 food, 400 gold. So if you want to abuse the market, you could play like Pop 6 Castle Age, Fast Castle.
Yeah, like I feel like you can do some shenanigans or something with that.
Yeah, but
maybe not the Pop 6 Castle Age because then you don't have an economy. But
yeah, I think it would work if we allowed Sling, but Sling only allowed in Imperial Age.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's still, I think, something that's going to be worth considering. But looks like we are going to be getting into the game here.
Indeed, and Age not crashing for me, so that's a good start. And I will load up Capture Age as well, and we'll have the transition any second into this one. Game number 2, MbL+Nicov against Liereyy+Hera, here now on the home map of Team Micro.
It will be on the Chaos Pit. And spot on are you, Mr. Nilly. We have both teams opting for the Byzantines, but just starting things out, we will have Hera in the purple as the Slavs for AM Micro to the southwest. His teammate going to be over to his right in the green as the Byzantines. It is, of course, Mr. Liereyy, taking a lot of punishment in game number 1. See if he can fare a bit better here in game number 2. And winning last game, of course, will be AM Macro with Nicov in the northeast in the blue as the Franks. And finally rounding out our players will be MbL in the yellow as the Byzantines as well.
Okay, Hera starting with the market again. Let's take a look how his Slav play is going to be. We have seen Franks against Slavs quite a bit also in the show match, and it feels like Franks have a slight advantage at the very start, since they can go for the scouts quite nice and early, can start some farming, but not having bloodlines actually hurts you quite a bit fighting with 65 against 54 HP.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a really interesting sort of dynamic that we have with the Franks and the expansions, as we already have plenty of scouts fighting. No time to ramble about civs in these settings, but yeah, it's something I think that's really interesting. I think as the game progresses, Slavs are just going to become more and more powerful, as they should be able to just grind down Franks with better siege and infantry. But yeah, Franks of course can be very swift to start on this map, which is interesting. Why AM Micro did not pick the Franks, considering that this was their home map. And Slavs are really much more of a civ that they take a little bit of time to get going, especially on these settings that are so fast.
Yeah, I'm really interested. I'm trying to follow the action here as well. And Spearman rush simply from MbL and Liereyy, no archery range there from either player. The Frank and Slav player did start with their scout, and yeah, I'm curious to see how they will try to chop themselves out. As we can see, we only have 2 or 4 tiles of stone around, no gold in the center, so we need to chop out to get more control over the map and the resources.
Indeed, that is sort of the gimmick with Chaos Pit. Of course, MbL would opt for the mass Spearman rush. I seem to remember an ECL game where MbL was Byzantines, and he was in the Feudal Age for like 50 minutes and only made Spearmen. Oh. He had like 60 Spearmen, but oh, the power of Mr. Pokey Poke compels you getting a villager of Hera. All the Spearmen.
That's a pretty good start for him, for sure. Meanwhile, he's getting raided at home, but, well, you aren't getting raided if you're wall again. MbL, he's just playing super safe over and over again, and that seems to pay off for him.
Yeah, it's like, you know, MbL plays so often that I end up casting him a lot, and he just plays so safe all the time. in situations where I feel like he could be so much greedier, but obviously it's sort of his style, and it definitely works for him. Able to defend against those scouts of Hera right there. Don't think there's been a ton of action. Liereyy actually has 0 kills and 0 deaths. Just kind of comfortably chilling, slowly chopping out. Lots of spearmen, of course, running around for all these players.
Lots of speed indeed. Liereyy and MbL both with 10 military, Hera with 5, Nicov with 8. So he is going for quite some solid numbers, but couldn't really find any kills. Just way too many spearmen out from Liereyy, and now protecting his teammate Hera as well. I think the scouts are losing in value. Should someone opt for switching to archers or maybe skirmishes?
It would be the Byzantine player, I think, in theory at least, but can't really go for archers until you have gold income, so you kind of have to wait until you're chopped out, and I think we're still a little ways off from that. I mean, players aren't even through the second layer of tree yet. There are exactly 3 layers of trees, of course, to chop out. Hera is actually kind of with a really bad lumber camp, just noticing that right now. He has quite a ways to chop through.
That's so true, and then that's just missing experience in those kind of unconventional maps, right? You always want to chop the way where you only have 3 trees, and he will have to go for like 5, 6. I'm not that good at math. Pythagoras could help us out.
Maybe, just maybe. I hear Nilly math is quite difficult. Ooh, here we go. Might be a little bit of MbL being exposed for the first time. Might lose the villager. Will indeed lose that villager. So a little bit of revenge coming in for Hera. Surprisingly little bloodshed for such a quick start on a very aggressive map, but just lots of Mr. Pokey Pokes poking each other, as they tend to do.
That's so true. Okay, now double Bact, so kind of stabilizing. Some raids in the back, though. Let's take a look. Maybe some villagers going down from Hera. 1 down, will go 2 down. And this is a nice catch here from Nicov, knowing, okay, some of the army of Hera was around. And it just feels like Nicov and MbL are just doing so much better trying to save their villagers.
Yeah, I mean, they've collectively lost a villager. Oh, never mind. Caster curse right there. Nico's gonna lose a villager to Hera's scouts.
Okay. Well, it happens. Nicov has 7 idols at the moment under the TC. Not really sure. Macro slipping a bit or something. And we have the transition onto an archer range here from Liereyy. He is going for some archers.
Are they actual archers? No, it has to be skirmishers, right?
Yeah, we're starting with 300 gold with medium resources,
yeah, you're right.
You can go for 5+ fletching, or maybe 6. We will see. Against the spearman, obviously archer a bit better, but once Liereyy and MbL are switching into both archer ranges, maybe skirms need to be added.
Especially because they're Byzantines, right? The skirmishers are going to be so cheap, they're not going to be slowing down your castle age that significantly. But I definitely like the idea. Go for the archers early on, as they are just going to be that much better against the spearmen. Having that couple extra attack and faster attack rate going to be quite nice. As you can see, MbL spearmen not at all knowing what to do against the archers, having to run away.
Yeah, well, they know how to run away, yeah, but, well, Mr. AM Micro Liereyy is trying to chase this down and now harassing the villagers at the berries a bit. Nicov fighting back, but that can't be a good option in the long run.
Yeah, the peasant uprising, they don't have a long history of success, both in Age of Empires and in real life. And oh no, Nicov has to be very careful right here. Of course, these units, without any real blacksmith upgrades, going to be very slow in taking on the villagers, so none ended up dying, but causing a little bit of idle time nonetheless. You actually see something of a team wall coming in here from AM Macro, just this huge stretch of houses and palisade gates across the middle of the map.
Yeah, AM team wall. Maybe more than a macro at the moment. Yeah, trying to be safe. MbL didn't add an archer range himself. That's kind of questionable for me. He's sitting at 700 food and 300 gold, though. He is about to click up Castle Age any second. Just needs 2 more buildings, though.
Just needs both buildings. But yeah, we do have the archer range coming in right now, so he will be switching in the Castle Age, almost certainly. Over into the crossbowmen. Maybe if we saw like Blacksmith Market, he would go for some sort of Monk and Siege push with like him just chopping through and then sending a ton of villagers over to gold. But probably not going to be the case. Actually, yeah, he does have the resources, but still needs that blacksmith. Of course, nobody's builds are going to be totally perfect. But ooh, actually, big raid here in the south of Hera's eco. Looks like maybe a villager went down already.
I even counted 2, and Nicov with only 1 scout or 2 scouts lost there in exchange. Totally fine for him. MbL now clicked up. Archer range and blacksmith. What is he going for? Some archers himself. Is going down to only 100. What? Am I confused? Oh no, he cancelled those archers. I was about like he produced archers and still had 100 gold left. Nearly math didn't check out.
The Nilly math never lies. Oh man. But yeah, it looks like MbL is actually going to have a pretty significant Castle Age advantage over Liereyy. So that's going to be pretty nice for him. Actually, more raiding coming in from Nicov. Is that another villager kill?
Yeah, the big problem for Liereyy was that he was on the outside but didn't find gold instantly, so only now needed to outpost himself there and found it after all. Needs to go maybe even with the market and sell some. Well, not for now. Villager count overall dead even 69 to 70 before Hera is losing another villager under the TC.
Yep, that's obviously a bit unfortunate. Something I've actually seen a lot in watching Nicov play a lot with MbL recently. Nicov is so good with these little scout raids in the Feudal Age and getting random villager snipes. I'd see him get it all the time. It's really been quite impressive from him recently. Yeah, seeing it here, of course, as well. And as you're saying, the villager count is even, but when you're factoring in MbL almost up to the Castle Age, that has to be a pretty sizable advantage. Ooh, that is some scouts going down for Hera as well. Might even see the pikeman upgrade come in quickly for MbL.
I think it will be... let's think about it. He's still not on gold, so it will take some time for him. Pikeman upgrade or Elite Skirmisher, that's a question. You cannot go for Botkin Arrow as well. And now building the Siege Workshop, so he's rushing out to gold, is finding it now. And I think Pikeman might actually be the best option indeed.
Yeah, I mean, you already have all these spearmen, right? And the pikemen beat spearmen, as dumb as that sounds. But when it's the most prevalent unit on the map, it actually does become quite relevant. There are these, 5-6 archers for Liereyy going to be doing work. Looks like MbL going to be transitioning into his own skirmishers. But we'll have to see Nicov almost up to the Castle Age himself, of course, as Franks will be going for those knights. Just chopped through by the looks of things, but he actually has a scout ready, so he should be able to find gold relatively quickly. And yeah, Hera just so far behind in the knight race.
Yeah, well, he's like 15% up now, right? Yeah, 13 is kind of safe at home, but still, what is that? 100 wood to go, and not in the best angle to get onto gold. I think he will stay on light cap for quite some time.
Yeah, and of course, but the power of Slav Farm is you can probably produce from around 6 stable knight at this point. Or 6 stable light cav, rather. But yeah, they're just not going to compare to knights whatsoever. Of course, the Palisade Gates are going to be battered down very quickly, as they are wont to do. But nice quick houses coming in here. Power of the Byzantine extra HP compels you. What you're going to do.
Team Wall going for it. Liereyy now with Botkin Arrow. He's going for quite a nice army here with Crossman. Nicov even having one knight trapped. MbL walling the knight of his teammate.
Oh, that's funny. Knight does manage to escape. Mangonel actually coming in here from MbL. That could definitely get a ton of work done. And indeed, going to get a pretty nice shot off on these spearmen right away. Liereyy has to be quite careful, taking quite a few losses early on. 5
spearmen going down there. Scouts cannot really move in there. Some knights are raiding Hera at home, but he should be fine defending this. But only has scouts, actually.
Where did Hera get a scout? He's gonna get them. Oh man, like one hit off from killing the Mangonel. But yeah, MbL will save that. Of course, Hera gonna be making the light cap upgrade because he has a bajillion scouts. But yeah, Nicov trying to find some damage with these knights, should be able to engage the scouts no problem, as knights do annihilate scouts. And Hera almost one single tree stands between him and gold.
Yeah, let's take a look. Does he have the vision for that? He already sees the gold, so yeah, he's already happy. It's so close and yet so far.
Unfortunately, no trebuchet from the Dark Age to cut your way through. No Forest Nothing settings.
Yeah, Forest Nothing with the trap starting? That would actually be
Yeah,
quite funny.
Apparently that's how a lot of people play it.
What?
Or so I'm told.
Never heard that before. Interesting.
But anyway, there's actually 3 mangonels out for MbL, and he's getting pikemen, a little bit slower than we would have predicted, but Nicov actually with +2 armor coming in. This is going to be a really scary push on Hera, as of course these rush distances are just so close.
Yeah, pikemen, how can you really defend that? You kind of need to go for siege on your own, right? And Hera, well, he has slavs, he could go for that technically, but only now getting the gold, and that was all to his bad cutting there. Unfortunate spot for him.
Yeah, and it really just, as we were saying, comes down to the lack of experience. Liereyy, yes, he's somebody who can adjust on the fly. Hera, not quite there yet. Just isn't. I mean, Lierey's also way more experienced than Hera to begin with, especially just on these non-Arabia maps. And it's just these little things like on Chaos Pit, you have to put your lumber camp on a big plane. But oh, never mind. Box formation light cav.
Oh god, Liereyy. He's playing with fire at the moment. Light cav scaring some as well. That's a lot of knights though at the top. I don't see them really killing that. Let's take a look. Siege Workshop not really producing yet. Still not enough gold for Hera at the moment. Now out of wood to repair. He will lose that TC.
Yep, and losing your single only TC is usually a pretty bad sign in terms of your long-term success in a game. And yeah, just with the, again, the very fast castle age, you can see it happen in game 1 and game 2 here. MbL really able to make that work, just not taking a ton of damage in Feudal Age and making the early Castle Age plays.
Yeah, I think that is the big difference, right? Liereyy, he didn't take too many losses, but did build himself up a bit smaller. But Hera, losses after losses, and then the unfortunate lumber camp kind of puts him so far behind. Now without his TC, 39 villages, he will stay at those for quite some time. Maybe lower, but not higher.
Yeah, it's only down from here, at least for the time being, until he can get another TC up and rolling. And without the sling potential, it just makes that so much harder. Nicov even getting a castle. Frank Castle's, of course, going to be quite cheap, and kind of quietly behind this, Nicov has been booming, at least pretty significantly. He's 7 villagers ahead of Liereyy, getting this castle up at the front, and tons of knights here. He's looking really strong.
Yeah, 3 TCs for him compared to only 2 from Liereyy, who maybe wants to play a fast MbL behind this, but honestly only at 140 gold. That's not too easy. Siege Workshop now might squeeze out the Mangonel. Let's take a look if we see some big hits against the Crosswomen. Not happening for now. Villages are going down. Mangonel in exchange.
Well, it was a 1-for-1, which is a bit unfortunate, but just want to say, Nilly, power of the Byzantine building HP, the only reason he got that Mangonel out.
Why is Liereyy trying to take that fight here?
Oh, that was at least a little bit of NAC2 flashbacks when Liereyy is just like, I can take fights against 5 mangonels. And honestly, that wasn't that bad.
Are they winning this? It was Hera coming in at the beautiful time as well. There was no after production from MbL, and Nicov was a bit out of position. Liereyy actually won this one. What happened here?
I mean, considering it was a bunch of crossbowmen against 5 mangonels, only losing like 6 or 7 crossbowmen is pretty insane.
I don't know.
That's actually bonkers.
And Liereyy is now up to MPH. What is Onlu?
Yeah, Liereyy, he is crisp and clean, and that's a pretty nice Imperial Age timing. No defense upgrades even, just really homing in that fast Imperial Age. Only the 2 TCs, like you were saying. Well, and it's going to be a matter of, can Arbalests win the game? I think the problem is that there's already this defensive castle, and it's going to be kind of hard to loop around, as there's actually even a second defensive castle in the north end for Nicov.
Yeah, controlling that area quite nicely. Pushing the center could be pretty big. Nicov is up to MP8. And well, defense upgrades. If 5 mangonels are shooting at you, either you dodge or a defense upgrade won't help you anyways.
No, not at all. It was more a matter of just prioritizing every little bit of food saved in terms of getting the faster Imperial Age, not getting ballistics and thumb ring until right now. Okay, it looks like Hera, he has a TC again. It's on the outside. That's going to be nice for him. MbL's going to have his own defensive castle, though, so that's going to be quite nice, as really the big problem with Arbalests yes, they can tread through armies, but they can't tread through buildings. Well, they have obsidian arrows, but no Mayans in this game.
Liereyy, he is at enough stone to build a castle though, so maybe something like a trap wall is an option for him. Builds the castle, facing Nicov, should have more HP on those. The defensive castle of MbL, for me, well, AM team wall. Very defensive.
Yep. That is a very defensive castle. That's like the castle you make if you like really need to prioritize unique unit production and just don't want to lose any of your castles. But I don't see cataphracts in the near future, unfortunately. And of course, Liereyy hitting Imperial Age right now, going to be grabbing that Arbalest upgrade right away. And this is just something I see from Liereyy all the time. He just has more archers than like everybody. I mean, obviously no one else is going for archers, but even still, like he has so many archers, man.
Yeah, I don't understand how he's keeping those productions always absolutely on point at the same time, not losing too many, even not losing his whole army against 5 mangonels. I lose my whole army against 2 mangonels, and he wins against 5?
I lose my whole army against 1 mangonel, and it's my own mangonel.
Oh, feels on, man.
It feels... So Nicov, but he's Imperial Age. He's gonna have +4 armor, so he's gonna be, I think, okay. Liereyy doesn't even have Bracer yet, so his upgrades are certainly quite weak. He does have Trebuchet number 2 on the way, but I think Nicov should be able to repair for the time being, and he's at 95. I mean, actually, both AM macro players living up to the name that I gave them 25 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of villagers.
But Hera, is he living up to the micro?
He's trying.
He's trying,
No.
Okay.
He's
So,
trying. No,
AM macro and AM micro trying.
I'm trying.
Okay, Nicov now getting +4 defense and cavalry upgrade. He will raid Hera again, who just started to rebuild his eco 56 villagers. And I think Hera needs to get some walls out here. Now that we are in Castle Age or Imperial Age, he can maybe still more behind this.
Yeah, that's just straight up real. And Nicov even has chivalry now, Nilly. These cavalry are just going to be flying out of the stables.
Yeah, he has 101 villagers, at the moment 19 military, so it's not like he can produce endlessly. But yeah, true, he has 3 TCs, is expanding some more to extra gold spots, and his production should be pretty much on point. MbL now checking onto onagers against Liereyy, interesting.
Of course, Byzantines, best onagers in the game. With no other upgrades, not even siege engineers. But honestly, even if, say, Nicov doesn't have, like, what we would say, like, you know, team game level villager count, like 130 villagers for this mass paladin production, he still has way more villagers than either of the AM micro players. So his production is going to be comparatively, I think, still so much stronger. Onagers, of course, can cut right here, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Ooh,
And this is just going to be brutal.
So nice. And Hera, he kind of feels safe for now. This is, oh god, this has to be so bad for him, and he doesn't see it. Now he sees it a bit, and the onagers are coming over, and he, I believe, has to feel safe. And X completely at the other side, going for some raids, and surprise!
Howdy ho, say AM macro. And that's going to be pretty brutal. Of course, on the other side, Nicov is pretty much getting his base in the Chaos Pit destroyed quite decisively by Liereyy, who has the strongest population count in the game individually, and honestly, the army count is pretty insane for Liereyy. Of course, AM wheelbarrow timing 37 minutes, AM confirmed. But the thing is, Nicov's still okay in the north of the map. He's still going to have some gold income, I assume, yeah. Still has a little bit of gold income, so I still think our northern team is in a much stronger position.
Yeah, Hera, kind of. He's not really defeated, but he will lose all those villagers. I think he will be stuck with, how many are those? Well, 9 villagers at the site. And Liereyy, I think he should start overbooming and maybe even sling some, but then he cannot get onto 80-90 army to compete against both other players.
Yeah, I think actually, if you're Liereyy, you gotta go. I think if you're going to win this game, you're going to win it right now. You have the military advantage, but you're not going to have it for that long. You see MbL teching into his favorite unit in the world, the Skirmisher. And once he gets enough of those, that will counter the well, all of Lierey's army, and it's really just down to Hera's, like, 8 knights and 2 light cap or whatever. That's not going to be particularly impressive at this stage in the game. Of course, Nicov now with the Paladin upgrade, that's going to be quite powerful as well. And Liereyy just has to be so careful in how he takes these engagements.
How many numbers are okay-ish for him? He has only +2 defense, no attack upgrade, still lacking MbL+. That's a bit surprising to me. Maybe sees, okay, I'm not really fighting anywhere. I can just continue or focus on army production instead of upgrading them first.
You mean Bracer?
Bracer. Yeah, what did I say?
You said Arbalest.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry, I was
same
a little
unit.
confused right there. Yeah. But he's getting Arbalest. God, he's getting Eraser now. He has all the attack upgrades. That's the point. Oh man, but yeah, you see Hera with the refugee status right now here in the south, just building a TC in his teammate's base. That is just never a great sign. And we have MbL near enough to max population. Yeah, Nicov is still a little ways off, but this map, it's really hard to actually just go out and punch through and finish off your opponents unless you have all those onagers. And, well, Liereyy didn't have that, and here comes MbL.
Okay, let's take a look. Where is he attacking? Skirmishes out, and I think my PC is lagging a bit out, and I'm a bit behind here. I'm at 41 minutes, 10 seconds at the moment. And
I'm at 42:40.
Sick, okay.
I
Pretty sure what's happening there. And, well, we now have all the paladins grouping up. Skirmishes could be attacking as well. I'm not sure if it's capture age slowing us down. I think it might be.
T90 said something in the game chat, and someone said who won, so maybe there was a drop or something?
I don't know. I don't have any chat, but...
Regardless, like, Nicov is swooping in with the Bajillion Paladins, MbL's with the Bajillion Skirmishers. I think this should be pretty much GG anyway. Yeah, okay. Hera and Liereyy called GG, so... that was it. Okay,
let's take a look. Maybe we can see the big onager shots before that. Now the big axes here. Liereyy is trying to run away. And some Knights of Hera coming over. We have the Paladins here flying in. Liereyy is just running. He still has 78 military, 19 only from our 47 pop Hera player.
It wasn't great.
Okay, and... how can I increase the game speed? I can't, I believe. Okay, onagers now going down. Skirmishers, they seem to be killing this off here. And skirmishers now clearing Liereyy completely. Overall population 240 to 340. And after this fight, it won't be better for Liereyy for sure. Paladins clearing up the back rates of the knights as well. This isn't the greatest engagement ever for MbL and Nicov, but they simply have the greatest numbers and are clearing this up. 2-0 here for MbL and Nicov.
Yeah, and I think pretty decisive 2-0 at that. I mean, they really just seem like the stronger team and solid across the board. Just took a quick look at the quick look at the post-game achievements, and almost dead even in score were MbL and Nicov, just totally solid. Of course, Nicov was under a little bit less pressure, was able to get the bit of a better boom off, but yeah, they just kind of. Again, in early Castle Age, I think was the big difference. MbL got the quicker Castle Age and was able to just take it to Hera this game. It was Liereyy last game, and Hera this game.
I need to message Nicov. Okay. Sorry, I was distracted here quite a bit. Sorry, I hope you already summed everything up and the viewers catch it up. I needed to talk to Nicov a bit because he was laming a straggler, which is forbidden by the rules, but it also didn't result in a villager kill. It was at 15 minutes, so it did not have a real effect on the game. So I let it slide for now. I gave him a warning, and he said he knew the rule, but he thought the tree was far enough away from the TC, and he was kind of on the outside, and like deleting a piece of wall, he thought, which kind of it was, but I think it was in the 10 tile range of the TC, I think it didn't have any effect on the game, but still, he got a warning.
Yeah, those are tough decisions because especially because the players are so close together. Like I'm sure those decisions become a little bit more difficult, but yeah, I think that seems like a fair admin decision to me.
Whew. Okay, happy with that. And let me see. Now we have no more Chaos Pit. Graveyard next. Probably our most defensive of all maps.
Yeah, honestly, it was a map I really enjoyed watching at NAC2. I think we had a lot of really good games on it. So happy to see it here again. And I think the more defensive nature of this map has to be favoring our two AM macro players, right?
I think so, yeah. I think the army composition could be a bit better. The team play might be a bit better. And simply that MbL will be instantly walled. Yeah, just will really help out on those. And I think the reason why we saw so many good games is because this plays quite passively. And therefore we see a bit more longer macro games.
That's true. And as the, slower early game was going to be greatly expedited by these settings, could be seeing some cool army composition battles here, which I always enjoy watching. So yeah, I am quite interested to see how this is going to go. This is also a map, though, we must say, is very strong for good archer civs and archer players, and that is kind of what Liereyy is known for.
Yeah, I think we could see Ethiopians here, starting with 600 food, 400 gold could be an option. We could maybe see... Well, I think Magyars, for example, are really bad here because they don't transition that well into late Castle Age, early Imperial Age. So, yeah, maybe Britain, something like that. Archer civs should be really good, yeah.
I mean, when we saw this, obviously it was 1v1 and Dark Age start at NAC2, but yeah, a lot of Britons, a lot of Ethiopians, and of course the Amerindian civs because, it is a land map. So we might be seeing some of those. Maybe see Mayans here. I think Mayans would probably be really good.
The problem with Mayans on those settings is you don't have that villager advantage, right? Because you start with 4 villagers and the scout, but cannot click loom.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, so main advantage actually isn't that big. At least you're taking away one of their advantages. They still have plumed archers. They still have obsidian arrows. They still have the longer lasting resources. They still have incredible eagles.
Well, looks like we were both correct, Nilly. All of our thoughts were correct because we do have MbL getting housed instantly, but he'll be the yellow Mayans here to the south of the map for AM macro, and doing quite well so far. And of course, his teammate, his partner in crime, will be Nicov in the blue as the Slavs. This time, of course, AM macro will be playing Slavs. Be here to the northwest. And then for our AM micro team will be Hera in the purple as the Franks to the north, and finally Liereyy in the green as the Ethiopians to the southeast.
Who is instantly starting with an archer range and fletching, so that's going to be interesting. I like to see an early lumber camp, some walls, and you can also instantly go for the double bit axe upgrade. Should help out your eco. He has a very nice tight base. If he goes for the woodline in the top, takes the gold, takes the berries there. Should be really good for an archer opening.
Yeah, this is really interesting. You can see all of the interesting build adaptations on these settings.
Look at that, MbL. He built a house and 15 walls before a military building. What is this?
It's MbL, man.
What is this? It's not, he doesn't know that he has resources to build something or what?
I
Is this fast castle?
Probably.
No, barracks.
Okay, there's the barracks.
This could be really troublesome.
I was casting just a random rated game from MbL like a week ago, and he was full walled by the 3.5 minute mark in just a random rated game.
He doesn't like to lose villagers, apparently. Okay, Hera now coming, attacking Nicov, who's trying to quick wall the front a bit. He is doubling at the sides to allow MbL to be walled. I'm a bit surprised by that. Is MbL maybe going for the eagle approach? We can see that now. Goes for the first spearman now. But archers should be pretty deadly here. I think Liereyy could do quite a bit of damage with the support of Hera here.
Yeah, certainly. We did see a nice little nab there by the scouts of Nicov. Actually, Leary's archers could be a little bit exposed right now. Looks like they might have just passed by the scout line of sight right there. So that was a little bit lucky for Mr. Liereyy. And if these archers, if they go unnoticed, they can really wreak some havoc. Of course, grouping up with Hera's scouts. And is Nicov defended?
Yes.
Sort of getting there.
Yes, some walls. How many HP do we have here? 166. The walls at the top are kind of okay. Walls at the back, but well, re-walling will be tricky because you cannot really do the diagonal gates properly here if you have diagonal walls.
Yeah, I don't really think, I can't think of any way you can do that effectively, but who knows? Yeah, just units running around. Actually, Nicov, is he going to be able to sneak into Leary's base? He's not really walled much at all. He's going over to the gold right now, but I feel like these 4 scouts could do a ton of work in this wood line in the back of Leary's base.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I said. He could have made it so much closer for himself. And MbL, he should wall it for his team. Let's take a look. Liereyy now coming over. We have Nicov, tries to wall behind this. Whew. Oh no, he's going for the repair before that for now.
Well, that's not going to work too long against some archers with fletching, and indeed, those archers will pick off that villager right there. Nicov is going to have to be pretty careful right here. Does have a couple scouts at home, but that will not defend you against all these units from AM Micro.
He's sending
looks
4 more back.
Yeah, it looks like he's sending the scouts back right now, but these villagers on the lumber camp to the left are very exposed for Nicov. This could be a little bit ugly for him, falling victim a little bit to the 2v1. And yeah, it looks like that's going to be 2 villagers down already. They're taking a little bit of TC fire. But yeah, causing so much idle time right here for our blue player.
Oh man, what is he really doing now? Let's take a look. Let's hope that we don't have real straggler laming now. And okay, goes to the lumber camp on the right hand side. Amount of scouts at the moment at 7. MbL still at only 3 military units. Did go for 1 single spearman, now goes for the archers, and it's just so late here.
I mean, MbL's like, he's playing this like a 1v1, right? He's just safe. He's just with his 1 defensive spearman. He's got like already has like contingency walls.
Yeah.
It's really strange. It's just now going on to archers. I like the approach of AM Micro so much more here.
Yeah, I think aggressiveness really pays off. I think the most disappointing series for me was so far SY against Suomi. And SY, they always refuse to go for heavy feudal age army. And I think the settings are designed to really benefit that.
Yeah, I mean, medium resources, feudal age start. You have enough resources to get your military up and running right away, but not enough resources to really give you a fast castle comfortably. So yeah, I think that's at least the way I would go about it if I were playing in these settings, and it's what we're seeing here from these teams. MbL just now getting fletching, but he's going to be falling quite a bit behind in terms of archer numbers compared to Liereyy, already 5 military behind, and he's not catching up anytime soon. And of course, Liereyy has the faster firing archers.
Well, let's take a look. Liereyy needs to get some quick walls done at his berries for now. Woodline, somewhat exposed. It's funny how he, like, determines what palisade he's building first. Looks so weird. Hera's coming back trying to defend this. Where's the army at the moment from Liereyy?
Army from Liereyy is just kind of wandering between his base and MbL's. I have no idea why MbL thinks he can go out on the map right now. He is way far behind in archer production. Looks like he might nab a scout, but has to be very careful right now, as Liereyy is just going to be way outnumbering him.
And by his given name, he has to have the better micro, so let's take a look how they approach this. MbL with some walls behind that, though. I don't think MbL will take too many losses. So far, villager count 1 more for AM Micro.
Yeah, there you go. Now it's just goes to the slight villager losses that Nicov took early on. Of course, just now getting double bit axe, and that's just now at archery range number 2 coming in for MbL. Liereyy is actually still only on the 1 archery range, interestingly enough. So I guess MbL will be able to catch up in the medium run, but that's still a little ways off, and he has to not die right now. Of course, Liereyy living up to his name, taking some nice little engagements right there, but as you're saying, not getting any sort of real damage done to MbL.
Okay, so they will live another day. As you said, Liereyy with the better numbers should be catching up. Is Mr. MbL, though, with double archery range. Now they're going for the attack against Nicov again, who should be walled at that side and should have walls behind that quite nicely. Let's take a look at resources. Hera, he will click up to Castle Age in not too long.
Yeah, just in case you missed it, there was a raid over at the base of Liereyy by Nicov. Was able to nab 2 villagers at the cost of a few scouts, so not the greatest trade in the world, but still, I guess getting a couple villagers is something. And of course, he's going to be quite safe at home. And yeah, it's I think going to come down to everybody trying to get to the nice Castle Age transition, which should be first for Hera.
Okay, and then we go into Castle Age. Mayans and Slavs. Suddenly, they aren't looking too bad against Franks and Ethiopians.
Yeah, I think you're right. Don't really see any advantage that Franks and Ethiopians are going to have in that scenario. Slavs and Mayans are just going to be able to produce so many more units because of their stronger economies / cheaper units for Mayans. And yeah, Franks and Ethiopians, not really much in the way of mid-game eco bonuses.
We get 100 extra food, 100 extra gold. Oh, MbL is now going with the attack through the center. Let's take a look if Liereyy can defend this. Maybe needs to delete a house there. MbL should get the first kill. Spearman is going down. Villager actually out microing and saves her. But Liereyy, he doesn't have a lot of villagers on gold as well. Only at 60 at the moment.
Yeah, that's not great for him. Nicov coming in to support his teammate as well. Also, MbL notably having the +1 armor, whereas Liereyy does not. Lierey's always really slow to get the archer armor upgrades, I've noticed. But yeah, it looks like Nicov is holding on his side with a bajillion layers of walls, which tends to work out pretty well. And Liereyy taking quite a few hefty villager losses. MbL's up on his way to Castle Age himself. And yeah, Lierey's having to rush up a market to sell wood, I think.
Yeah, I don't like that Liereyy was not walled here. I think this could have been an easy team wall for them. Just Liereyy one more tile, some in between Hera and him, and then they could have been in the perfect spot to defend this, and now he is in a world of pain.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for initially, but only with the Palisade Gate to defend wasn't really sufficient. Hera's swooping back to help out his teammate, though. He is, I think, certainly in the individually strongest position in this game. And scouts here with +1/+1, they're gonna totally wreck these archers. So that's, I think, gonna be pretty nice. Oh, that's about as beautiful a position as MbL could hope to take.
Oh yeah, the archers of Liereyy not helping out, and Hera scouts. Some of them don't really know what to do with their lives.
Oh, Age of Empires pathing at its finest.
Okay.
Yeah, nice little bit of micro.
Okay.
Everything will be cleaned up for MbL. Nicov, Liereyy, both on the way to the Castle Age at similar times, though of course Nicov with a few more villagers than Liereyy. Both those two players, of course, were the ones that were taking the heaviest losses. And now we have the triple range play from MbL. This is what's been all the rage, Nilly. This is what's been talked about on every piece of social media. Is all about the triple range into Obsidian Arrows play, as we see MbL going over to Stone now.
Yeah, my Instagram feed is absolutely full of that, and well, we need some balance changes there. Liereyy, he is having the hill advantage, going for 2 archer ranges, but MbL should have a lot more to fight with.
Yeah, I know my MySpace has really been blowing up recently.
Yeah, I just changed my ICQ status as well.
Oh, really? Okay. I might need to change my AOL account soon as well.
Okay, let me send you a message on MSN.
Okay, sounds good. I'm afraid you have me beat in the old internet chat department.
I was at IRC was the last one I could have came up with as well.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But we did see Liereyy snag a couple of villagers of MbL. Going to be just nice little pickup there for him. Hera just bearing down with so many cavalry units. Look at the difference between Hera and Nicov right now. 18-3.
Oh.
That's a big difference.
Well, seems like he wanted to build some walls, and Hera, he might get some kills. And let's take a look here. Liereyy is advancing quite nicely as well. Beautiful position by MbL, but now they're squeezing through. This could be a lot of dead villagers. What can we see here? They're carrying quite a lot of resources, as we can see at this side as well. And this is with +1 forging as well. This is going to be a massacre.
Oh, the humanity. So many dead villagers for MbL. You just can't defend against knights and crossbows without any knights, and just Nicov slower in the Castle Age Knight department, and not really with the production of Hera. Hera's just been untouched this entire game. He's just able to, execute a pretty flawless, early game, and is really just hammering down MbL. This is the same exact thing we saw in the last couple games, but now in the other shoes on the other foot, as Zero Empires would say.
No. And okay, villagers are just running around here. He's down to 33 and massive amount of villagers. I look at that, 33, 26 of them idle. Now he is trying to send some more into the TC, but he is gathering 0 resources at the moment. 1 on wood. Let's take a look at the income here. As you can see, no wood income, only slightly food, slightly gold that he just dropped off. No stone income. Compare that to the other ecos. It's looking horrible for MbL at the moment.
Oh, it's looking absolutely disastrous. Oh god, I was gonna say it looks like they might clean up the, whatever knights are remaining in the base, but even more knights coming in from Hera. I guess they will be picked off as well. And to be fair, if there is one civ that can make magic happen with 35 villagers, it's Mayans.
Yeah, that's true. Luckily for him, only low HP villagers, knights came over. Now he's going back to some more wood. But again, Knight Raid is coming over and he might snag some here. If he just commits against all the villagers here, this is so ugly.
I think he will, and I think that is 100% the correct decision. That's going to be even more villager kills. I mean, at this point, every additional villager kill is just so much more impactful because it represents a, more and more significant part of MbL's economy. 35 villagers. I mean, I guess he's only 11 behind Liereyy right now. I mean, that's still really bad, but it's not, like, GG bad yet.
And he has more military, right? So Liereyy needs to go into something. Yeah, he's going with a second TC now. Something that MbL cannot afford at the moment. Goes on to more on stones. MbL is thinking about the switch. But Hera is going for 3 TCs. Nicov as well, though. Slav Eco, can maybe that carry them?
Definitely never want to underestimate the power of Slav Eco, that's for certain. I do really like this forward position, though, taken by Liereyy with the Siege Workshop. A couple mangonels out. This hill is certainly going to be really important as far as the 2 southern players are concerned. And that is very much going to be in favor of AM Micro. And these villagers on the northern woodline from MbL are looking fairly rocked.
Yeah, okay, Mangonel shooting over there. We have the river timing for Hera and Nicov. Funnily enough, MbL was still having the highest score for quite some time, but that was mainly to a lot of kills, I believe, not carried by the economy.
Yep. Sometimes, when you have just so many kills, it's you're killing expensive units like the knights, but you're losing villagers, which are very inexpensive, so it won't really show up that much on your score. But villagers are very important units, if they're only 50 food.
Well, I know a French guy who says differently, but yeah, I can see
all of us can be Eddie.
where you're coming from. Okay, now Nico finds some time to breathe and tries to get some raids in the back here. Hera is trying to micro a bit. Should, well, lose those knights, do some clear up. And now another attack into Nikov's base. Mangonel should do quite a lot of damage. Counter attack on the right hand side from Nicov and MbL, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a trade, I think. I mean, both armies are so out of position in terms of defending themselves. And I think the question becomes, who is going to be in a better spot to eventually clean up the armies in their opponent's base? And I'm not actually sure. I mean, Nicov is really been very dedicated to these super defensive postures, where Liereyy has not. And you can see Liereyy kind of forced to run for the TC right now, going to be taking a ton of damage himself, trying to put up another town center defensively, which is interesting.
if this is spotted by MbL, I think he could maybe smash this. He doesn't see it though. Now
Does
he's
not
running
see
in.
it.
Okay. And we'll get maybe one villager. That's it.
And that was some nice damage, but he's still down 16 villagers or so. And he's still down in TC count. Only on the 2. But, to be fair, Nicov hasn't taken a massive amount of damage yet. He's done a very nice job just holding on, trying to buy time, wait for some more army. Might even be trying to send his knights back at this point. I think the crossbowmen are probably just going to be way too slow to reinforce.
MbL is coming over with his crossbowmen as well, trying to help out behind those line. I think in the long run, Liereyy and TaToH will get cleared up here. But they just do so much indirect damage as well.
Yeah, the indirect damage of villager idle time at a minimum cannot be undersold at this point. As well as just, well, 1 actual villager kills, and keeping Nicov well behind Hera, who is at 83 villagers right now. The only player who hasn't suffered fairly massive damage in this game, notably. But MbL actually striking with these crossbowmen once again, going to be killing at least 7 or 8 more villagers of Liereyy, while all of this craziness is going on in different sections of the map. But yeah, it looks like in the base of Nicov, you have MbL and, of course, Nicov marshalling their armies, and I think you're right, they will clean this up eventually.
And Liereyy is only behind or ahead by 14 villagers now. Yeah, he will kill some of the crossbowmen, but MbL is doing everything to set himself up for a reasonable comeback.
Yeah, and Nicov actually is getting some raiding in the base of Hera, finally able to find some damage. Nicov is just, with these random cavalry units, always finding a way. He's gotten... Actually, it's kind of hard to tell because this map already has a ton of skeletons on it, so that doesn't help a lot in determination of how many dead villagers there are, but it looks like there were at least several dead villagers.
Yeah, some under the TC and some knight bodies as well. Now we have the big engagement here in the base of Nicov. TCs are helping out with some fire, but TaToH is having a lot of knights here and just smashing all the knights of Nicov, and the crossmen of MbL are going down as well.
Yeah, that is, I think, a pretty massive turn as far as deciding this game. These knights are just totally unchecked right now. Nicov has no army at all versus 26 knights with +1/+2 in husbandry.
Yeah, it's funny how MbL suddenly is the guy with the highest army, right? With 40 crossbowmen on the field now.
Well, triple range is Mayans. You can make a lot of crossbowmen. I've always been in the camp that Obsidian... Oh, here's a get out my game castle if I've ever seen one. From Hera right at the front of Nikov's base. Yeah, there's the GG.
And we see a conversion here, as you saw the conversion, how it worked out, and, well, I'm a bit surprised how the GG works. MbL is now calling it for me as well. The castle would have finished, lots of knights, and that strategy of MbL, trying to be safe alone and letting Nicov being super exposed, kind of felt not optimal.
To say the least. Yeah. It seemed like MbL was playing a 1v1, just in the way he was set up defensively. And that's not how 2v2s work, and Hera and Liereyy just correctly, you know, realized that, hey, we can just kill Nicov and MbL won't be able to do anything to help out his teammate. And that's kind of what happened, and Nicov was just behind Hera. And once again, it's the one player who gets the fastest castle age time without being dead, just doing so much damage. We've seen that 3 games in a row right now.
Well, all those 4 players are incredible if you just don't raid them, right? Their macros on point, they won't lose any units, and they can dominate a game if you don't disturb them. Yeah,
and that's exactly what we saw from Hera right here. Of course, other than wood, which isn't super important for Franks, by far the best economy across the board. 94 villager high, just, yeah, pumping knights, doing Frank things.
And I think they screwed something up, right? They jumped into the next game.
I heard a weird sound.
I had a weird sound because I was in the achievements as well. But they launched the game and it already got cancelled. So I'm expecting Dark Age, medium or low resources, or the wrong map. I will go for the wrong map.
Yeah, I mean, the settings are already defaulted to the Hippo, King of the Hippo, Clash of the Hippo, rather, resources. So yeah, I feel
Not
like
really.
long
No,
map
no.
is
You
one of the
need to
most.
select medium, but I think it will save medium.
I mean, yeah, shouldn't it save it between all these games?
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Team Acropolis now. Both players spawning together very closely, and we are starting with 2 scouts. So I'm expecting something that really benefits that.
Yeah, we already saw Franks. This might be the time to see Magyars. Lots of raiding could be a pretty strong strategy throughout, well, really the entire course of this game, as players are sort of forced further and further away from their Acropoli, which is definitely the plural of Acropolis.
Oh. Oh, okay.
I made that up, by the way.
Okay, makes sense. I heard of that before. Didn't we? Wasn't the two of us that had the long discussion? What is actually an Acropolis? Maybe not.
I think so.
Sounds like
if
us.
there were 2 casters that would go into that sort of discussion, I think it would be the 2 of us. I mean, the Acropolis is it's the monument it's the now crumbling monument in Greece. It's the in Athens.
Yeah.
The spring that was the beginning of the city.
But didn't we learn that it isn't actually the statue, but only an elevated area?
Yes, it's not a statue. It's the
building.
spring itself in the elevated area.
Oh,
that provided the source of fresh water to Athens, if I recall correctly.
What? Okay. Interesting. Mighty Mito and Rhino, thanks for your contributions towards the prize pool. As you all know, 50% of all donations over all streamers are going into the prize pool. So thanks for all your support. Game number 4 coming up pretty soon. And for the very first time, we don't have a clear swipe. Liereyy+Hera fighting back.
Wait, you're in the game?
No.
Oh, okay.
Just hyping. You know, I'm a caster.
I don't know what hype means.
Okay.
I need to spend more time with Mem, I guess.
Maybe.
But that should wake me up. But yeah, no, you're totally right. We are not in the clean sweep, and I'm sure that's exciting to watch, as clean sweeps are not that fun. And yeah, have to see how Team Acropolis is going to go. Map that I know I really enjoy watching. Saw so many great games on this in ECL.
Yeah, we had like one of the best games of last year, the long 4v4 AM against Secret game, right? That was epic.
Oh yeah, that game is one of the 2 that comes to mind, and the other one is the insane. Well, at the time it was LOS versus Secret, when it was like the double sling onto like 16-minute imp from Miguel as Mayans, and he went for like mass Eagle Warriors, and then dogao went for like an AFK boom as Khmer and just patrolled with a bunch of elite battle elephants.
Yeah, something like that. It rings a bell as well. Yeah,
that was a fantastic game. But this game will have
my age crashed, so
oh.
Let's do. But I was responsible for that. I clicked 3 different things at the same time, which should never do.
That'll learn ya.
Yeah. And now we can start introducing.
Okay, so we'll have MbL in the yellow to the east of the map as the Indians, and his teammate in the blue right to the north of him will be Nicov as the Magyars, so I was correct in that prediction. And actually also as the Magyars will be Liereyy in the northern side of his Acropolis for AM Micro. And finally, we'll have Hera in the purple as the Persians. Interesting Persians sighting we have here. Is this just the power of scouts?
The power of scouts and the power of a faster working TC starting from Feudal Age. So your villager production will be a bit smoother than of any other team, but you don't have as much resources as the opponent to keep up the production as well, though, with the scouts.
Yep, that is definitely the case, and we are seeing, I guess, in my opinion, one of the bigger sort of civ mismatches in the entire game. I think Persians versus Indians is so bad for Persians. Obviously, if we sort of consider the Magyars as equal, canceling each other out, so to say. Like, you really have to favor Indians over Persians, right?
Yeah, I have to agree. But we already had the Indians being picked, and by the rules of the tournament, you're not allowed to pick a civilization twice in the same set. And well, that's why we cannot see Indians again. And well, they're going for some team votes here, Mr. Hera and Liereyy. Finally, the game runs smooth, and it seems like both teams very active to create their own arena for themselves. Well, MbL+Nicov having some more troubles. Their map is a bit more open than Hera's, and look at that, he will be walled pretty soon, but MbL is squeezing through.
Oh, finding like the one last opening, I guess, in the wall, at least in the southern side. A little bit of an attempted cute, quick palisade maneuver, but I think MbL should have this. He does have bloodlines. Hera does not, so that's even going to be a more decisive win there for MbL. Quite nice little bit of a fight there for him. But yeah, I think it's actually really important to note that the map is way better for AM Micro, and that they can actually kind of wall to the edge of the map much more comfortably.
Yeah, Nicov is now going for the big walls in the back there. Let's take a look. We are getting the first board for ourselves, and well, MbL, he would be fine with taking this engagement 2v1. He still has more HP than the two of them.
Yeah, that's the power of Bloodlines. Liereyy, of course, does have Bloodlines himself now, as well as the free forging. That is just sort of inherent for Magyars, just not really with the numbers that you need. And MbL, he's still running around. He's still looking for some damage, and Hera's lost a lot already. Just his score is actually like hilariously lower at this point. It's like 200 to 250 score lower.
Well, look at that. His KD is 126, right? He took horrible engagements. Maybe didn't realize how early MbL had bloodlines and just took bad fight after bad fight. Then lost some villagers. Now tries to wall himself in again. But yeah, it's not looking pretty for him.
Yeah, not at all. And again, it's just these teams just trying to find that damage early on with the scouts, and one team more successful than the other. And in this case, it was MbL+Nicov, just I guess trying to finish up their walls.
But MbL went for bloodlines and the scouts, therefore sacrificed quite a bit of his villager production, right? He lost one single scout and still is 3 to 4 villagers behind, so his TC was idle quite a bit.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, I didn't notice that. That is massive. Why would I think that he is? Oh no, he actually does have wheelbarrow. So he does have wheelbarrow.
Oh. He has wheelbarrow,
Hashtag
yeah.
Not my AM.
Oh, how was he housed, or what is happening here? Wheelbarrow, that's way too early.
Yeah, you have no reason to get wheelbarrow that early. That doesn't make any sense other than just being housed or something.
Maybe he was. A bit surprising to me. Okay, I completely ruled that out. Okay, now the villager difference makes a bit more sense. And I was like, MbL, that's an untypical all-in by you. But, well, an untypical fast tech there onto wheelbarrow makes a bit more sense, maybe.
Well, it's better than idle time for sure.
Yeah.
So I still think we can be very happy with the position that MbL+Nicov are in right now. They did a good amount of damage. Village account looking pretty solid, and I would have to imagine that they should be looking a little bit better in terms of getting to the Castle Age.
Well, that's far off still. It depends on how many scouts you're building. The map name is displayed over here. Team Acropolis is the name of the map. Let's maybe scroll out a bit and see what's happening so far. Well, scouts are running around a bit here at the top, and, well, both teams completely walled off and kind of safe. What's going on?
Sorry, Nilly. AM Micro is not walled. There is a little tiny hole in the back. Hera's running to it. He's trying to get the quick gate in. Oh, wow, just in time.
Yeah, he saw the scouts over the trees, and they were looking over there and like, oh, villagers, are you really chopping wood there? Let's see about that. And then one grill got the task. Oh, let's make us safe.
Yep, that was definitely a close call. Liereyy going out to the far lumber camp, but some nice palisades will save him for the time being. And I only mentioned Castle Age times, even if it was kind of far away and is still not super close. I don't really think anyone's going to get any damage done. Unless there's an overchop or something, I don't really see anybody getting damage done, and should just be clicking to Castle Age, right?
Yeah, I think so as well. We should stay at 11 versus 9 military for quite some time. Villager counts are somewhat even. We see Nicov and MbL with 1 ahead and Wheelbarrow ahead, so an occasion advantage for them. Castle Age timings, and then, well, we still have to think about Persian Magyar against Magyar and Indians. Should the Magyars maybe even switch into CA?
I feel like that would make way more sense. I mean, both Persians and Indians are going to be likely making camels. So, I mean, you don't want to just go full on knights. You're going to want to have some sort of ranged component to your army, because it's just going to significantly increase your overall army DPS, as just you can have way more units fighting at the same time. Actually, is there a hole in the north? No. Patch it up. But yeah, Cav Archers make sense.
Oh, Nicov actually catching some villagers have got together with MbL here, and Liereyy, he's in some troubles. That's going to be 3 dead villagers. Was trying to somehow save him, but no chance here. And well, that was just kind of a risk that we mentioned earlier, going down there on the outside, trying to get to the better wood line, but only 3 villagers made it there safely.
Indeed, you can see the scouts just kind of like sharks surrounding a small little lifeboat, just waiting for the villagers to chop through and try and go to the outside on both sides of the map. Villagers, they have to chop wood; it's their job, but they don't want to do it.
Okay, let's take a look. Hera is now trying to get some damage done against those palisades here. MbL is building one behind. And yeah, I'm pretty happy that no one is trying to overchop those. I think on Acropolis you can actually straggler hop absolutely close to everything. And I think that might have just happened here. Hera,
I actually did catch that.
Was Hera jumping there?
Yeah.
Oh, why does no one read the rules?
I saw that, and for a second I thought it was MbL who had done it.
Okay, now they're writing. MbL said you can't delete stragglers. You can delete all woods in this map. Yeah, that's true. MbL is absolutely right. So we have both of them breaking the rules one time, but Nicov is now going through without a tree hop. That was actually a real overchop here by Mr. Hera. And we see how many villagers going down for now. Not a single one. He's still trying to fight this off, but some very low HP villagers here.
Some low HP villagers, even +4 kicking in. For some reason, Nicov is targeting the farm for a little bit. But yeah, just more annoyance. Hera taking more damage. I mean, as Persians, is actually still on an overall decent villager count. It's actually Liereyy who's at the lowest villager count in the game. But yeah, overall, definitely much stronger position for Nicov. MbL didn't take any damage despite the straggler laming. And yeah, they should be, I think, getting pretty well situated. We are seeing knights, notably, though, from Mr. Nicov.
Okay, so he's just playing it straightforward. The question is that a good idea against, well, pretty surely camels from Hera as well, right? At least I think so. He has one stable out, but that's it. MbL kind of riskily building the TC outside here, but they have the army advantage.
They do have the army advantage. They do have the map control for what it is worth. Looks like they're trying to go for another wraparound as Nicov is pinging the wood line of Liereyy, who is going for the Cav Archers, notably. So we are seeing that sort of divergence in strategy from the 2 Magyar players, one going for the Knights, one going for the Cav Archers. Like we were saying, I do kind of favor the Cav Archer play a little bit more. Just, I think in especially the medium to long run, going to be adding a lot more damage overall into into your army against the other army. But right now, in these sorts of early stages, as we've seen in numerous Hun wars over the years, the Knights can just muscle their way through low Cav Archer numbers.
Okay, Liereyy, he's trying to send more villagers on the outside, but Knights are around Nicov. Trying to find some damage. Liereyy tries to mess up camel production from our 2 non-Magyar players. Let's take a look how much damage they can do.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Just kind of random scuffles here and about with the scouts, both camel-making players doing just that, but you have to be favoring Indians in this regard. Even better upgrades for MbL, having that +1 armor. And actually, this is going to be relevant because the fact that Indian camels get the extra pierce armor is going to be beneficial against the cav archers, whereas it wouldn't really matter the other way around. So that's going to be a nice another little bonus for MbL.
Yeah, so true. And well, they're also ahead in villagers here, as we can see, 85 to 73. Yeah, some idols. The TC now shooting some back, and I heard another stable. So Hera is going for 2 now as well. Another attack towards Liereyy, and why is he not having a TC here? Still lacking some stone.
Yeah, I guess he is. You should start with enough stone for a TC on these settings, right?
No. You start with 30 stone. He needs to buy 100.
That's right. My bad.
Or collect some.
First series of the tournament of casting. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot more sense. So yeah, these guys are gonna have to be mining some stone. And Lierey's actually a player who does not mine stone often. He'll, spend the 200 stone on 2 TCs and then just, never make any more. Just go to Imperial Age.
Actually true. I haven't thought about that, but probably out of the top 15, top 20, he might be the one collecting the least stone from all.
Yeah, that's how I've always seen him play. It's just, when you're making archers, man, you don't need stone. Just need more and more archers.
That's so true. Okay, Nicov now building a TC on the outside, is protecting that quite nicely with all his knights. Liereyy is patrolling in, should do some minimal damage, but then go back. Hera, the only guy from America. The other 3 players playing all from Europe, so lag should be bearable, I would say.
Yep, and Hera's also East Coast America, so that's going to be even just a little bit better. Nicov got a few nice little snags right there. He doesn't actually have any armor upgrades for his knights, which I find a little bit concerning going up against cav archers. But it looks like he'll get his TC up. Actually, a little bit of a scuffle, a little bit of better coordination for AM Micro. Well, then you run into the TC. But yeah, Nicov MbL, I think they're going to be okay.
Well, let's take a look, and especially if we don't have a defense upgrade, which, as you mentioned before, is kind of questionable against those CA numbers. I don't see Nicov taking the best fights ever, and in the long run, I just feel like Camel CA could be better than Knight Camel. Let's see, I wouldn't mind Hera going for a lot of Camels, and they try to force big fights here in Castle Age.
Yeah, I think that it makes a ton of sense. I mean, Liereyy and Hera are 2 players that certainly love taking big Castle Age fights. And I think that you don't want to go into late game where it's just heavy camel versus imp camel, because that's never going to be a fight you're going to win. And I think it's, yeah, like you're saying, it's a matter that cav archers kind of scale exponentially in terms of power, whereas the knights and camels are going to be much more linear just because you can only have so many of them fighting at the same time, whereas the cav archers, they can always be fighting, and you can have like your entire army fighting, half your opponent's army at the same time, which is why we see those archer-knight combos so popular.
Indeed. What a great explanation. Nicov waiting for his +2 defense, and, well, MbL is camping for now as well. The production continues, as we can see. More army moving over to that left-hand side. Overall, army numbers 37 to 35. Villager numbers way better for AM Macro, though. So, well, I was making fun of our wording at the start, but couldn't make more sense, honestly.
Yeah, like as you were saying that, like just really jumped out to me. The fact that Nicov is 20 villagers ahead of Liereyy, that's pretty crazy for this stage in the game. And it really just goes back to the fact that Lierey's been so slow to add these extra TCs. He's on 2 right now.
Yeah, the only guy with only on 2.
That's not impressive for this stage in the game, and especially because it seems like AM Micro has been a little bit more hesitant to actually try and make something happen. Might struggle a little bit, although maybe Lierey's going to come in with a big cav archer raid.
Let's take a look. How much can he really do, especially if he's alone? I think Nicov can even scare him away quite reasonably well. Hera is going through the center, won't find too much damage. He's at 40 Cs, the same for MbL, and he's maybe trying to reinforce together with Liereyy, who will snag 1-2 villagers, but then I think needs to retreat. This is going in very deep. I'm a bit surprised by that.
Only lost 1 cav archer, so killing 5 villagers or so for 1 cav archer, that is certainly going to be worth it. Not really the most impactful thing ever. MbL getting another TC, as you are saying. Nicov actually does have +2 armor now, so he's going to be much more comfortable in taking these fights. And I mean, even MbL, he's trying to take it 1v2. That seems a little ambitious.
MbL is taking it 1v2.
Ooh, look at the flank though.
Oh, left-hand side camels are coming over as well. MbL, I think he is taking an okayish engagement here for sure. And, well, knights are now coming over as well. Army balance is not even existent. Look at that, 3.8k HP against 800 HP. Liereyy needs to run home. All the camels of Hera on the other side. And Liereyy, he will get smashed here.
Oh, yeah. And this is just the problem with cav archers against Indians. The extra 1 pierce armor that the Indian camels possess is just so helpful in terms of surviving long enough to really start to chase down those cav archers. And of course, the camels are just going to do so well against the knights, so it's like all you need are just enough camels and just make more camels and win.
Oh god, and those CA are all getting smashed down here as well. What a nice team play for sure by Nicov and... all eyes now on Hera. He needs to carry this one because Liereyy, he's down to only 20 military in a spot where he wants to have more like 40. And what is that caster from MbL?
That is what I was guffawing at. That is a good out my game castle if I've ever seen one. AM macros certainly feel like they have the advantage. You have 3 of 4 players clicking up to Imperial at this point, everyone except for Hera, and that is... Well, that castle certainly will end the game if it does go up, but we are seeing Hera ready with these camels.
Hera sees it instantly, has enough stone for a tower as well. That castle shouldn't go up.
That does borderline BM castle.
No, it's too few villagers, right? Although there's a lot of army from Nicov and MbL. But that's too few villagers, right? They should get focused down. Or will they?
Nicov has a lot of knights here too to help out.
Yeah, they are pushing this back.
Yeah. I think the faster reinforcements also make a pretty big difference. But even with the DauT castle to be aside, still a forward castle right here is not a bad position whatsoever. And the fact that faster Imperial H is going to be pretty big deal, though the villagers getting focused down like you were suggesting.
Okay, but actually not too many villagers died there. Maybe 3, 4. Yeah, the castle need to be cancelled, but he will reposition it over here. We'll lose another 1, 2 villagers. Liereyy is trying to go for some nice snipes here. Look at that, how well he's microing that. Incredible. Okay, now some other new conversion started, but won't really happen. That's a lot of camels from Hera here, who is the leader in overpopulation, but the only one not going up to him.
Yeah, and that's obviously a sacrifice that they chose to make, but it might bite them because we have Nicov and MbL both in Imperial Age, both powering out those cavalry units. And the thing with cav archers is that you have to get so many upgrades, and they're all so expensive. Heavy cav archer, bracer, Parthian tactics, chemistry, all that is incredibly expensive and harder on your economy, much less so than just heavy camel / cavalier and +4.
Yeah, and obviously if you're playing Magias, you want to have the castle, recurve bow as well. Only now going on to stone, it's Liereyy bought the other 200 stone. Yeah, those were some nice wins, but we really need to see Hera stop his production and go up to Imperial Age. Otherwise, Liereyy might just die instantly to the mass amount of cavaliers now raiding him.
Yeah, I mean, Nicov is just straight up right-clicking this TC of Liereyy, and why not? Taking it down in fairly short order, Liereyy losing a ton of villagers. He's trying to come into support with his cav archers, but they just do not have all the greatest upgrades in the world. Liereyy, as is tradition, refusing to get archer armor upgrades.
Well, yeah. He's a guy who micros a lot and is jumping around a lot, so generally not taking too much damage, but... Well, I think maybe investing 102 to take a bit more might have been an option. He has now heavy camels, heavy CA, but oh boy, those were like 20 villagers going down and the TC.
Yeah, and now we have heavy camel in for MbL on the south side in the big old camel mosh pit. that's just going to be so hard to deal with. The one thing that Hera does have going for him is one, that hill advantage, and two, the faster reinforcements. So his numbers are actually still slightly superior, but now Blast Furnace is going to come in. Conscription is going to, somewhat mitigate the defender's advantage that Hera possesses. And this is just, I think, going to be looking worse and worse and worse for our southern team.
Nicov taking to Paladins as well, so that's going to be brutal. Liereyy not walling the map at all. I think something that could have really helped them out. Just some control here, more maybe at the left-hand side, so that he knows, okay, we can fight together at the right-hand side. Could have been so much better for him. Meanwhile, Hera, he is indeed winning this one with the numbers. You mentioned it earlier, but I felt, okay, yeah, MbL should still win this one. But, well, 50 against probably 30 camels here. Won't be that fair.
I mean, MbL is even with Hera in terms of military count. I guess it's just in terms of the reinforcements slowly walking across the map. But, well, Hera, he's made it to the Imperial Age. He's getting heavy camel. But the big difference maker is going to come in once Paladin comes in. And that's even if Liereyy survives Nicov, which is very far from certain. Yeah, he can actually take a nice little engagement between the house right here. But that replacement TC is going to die just like its predecessor.
And I think you need to pause a bit more. I'm at 38-30 here, so some lag for me. And, well, we will see how this works out. Now the big raid here from Nicov at the side shortly before he reaches Paladins. Fight over here at the right-hand side not really happening. And, well, we have Liereyy trying to defend this.
Yeah, I did pause a little bit just to let you catch up.
Okay, now at 39 minutes, CA are having the successful defense, and well, the TC is getting attacked here. Hera's getting all the upgrades, is getting onto heavy camels, and then can take a reasonable fight. And as long as MbL is not getting imp camels, that should actually be fine for Hera.
Spoiler alert, Nilly, he's getting imp camel.
Shit, spoiled.
Yeah, okay, I just hit 40 minutes.
Oh man, Magyar player Liereyy is going down to 17 villagers, 34 military for him, and Imp Camel now on the overlay for us as well. That's a massive amount of paladins here from Nicov, and he is just smashing Liereyy down.
Yeah, we do see some heavy camels diverted by Hera to help out his teammate, as obviously you really are going to need those to help deal with the paladins, but just any amount of camels that you divert to help out a dying Liereyy means it's going to be so much harder to take an engagement against the soon-to-be superior camels of MbL. I mean, still, there's the Blast Furnace advantage, and Imp Camel coming on in. Oh boy, you can just see Hera just instantly have to try and turn tail and run, but you can't do that against Imp Camels, and he is going to get very swiftly scimitaared to death.
Oh man, yeah, not really sure how he can ever find reasonable engagements now. I'm only at 40-40, so apparently the game runs pretty slow for me if we go into the later stages here. And, well, CA are pushing the left-hand side away. Could maybe fight against those Imp Camels here at the side. But overall populations, basically everyone pop limit, and Liereyy only at 105. Trying to build a defensive castle, tries to set up the trade, but yeah, not getting the numbers on here.
Yeah, the looks like GG should be incoming soon, and indeed there it is. No answer to Imperial Camels on the side of AM Micro, and that's what I was saying at the beginning of the game. I just think that this matchup is terrible for Persians, and even though the Magyar players went for different strategies, Nicov just ended up winning on his side anyway, and Hera did not have the civ he needed to carry right there.
Yeah, and you can just see Imp Camels are just smashing this all down. Liereyy no chance to defend the other side. And traps are moving in, the castle will fall. What a beautiful play here by Nicov and MbL. It just felt like Liereyy couldn't really deliver enough here on the field, couldn't really get the CA numbers, and is just getting smashed at the left-hand side again.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Yeah, the Cav Archers are going to be scaling way better than the Knights, but in the early stages, Knights can just brute force their way through. And kind of saw that with a few engagements over to the north side of the map, the north side of the Acropolis, you could say, by the base of MbL and Nicov. And yeah, just really, really solid play from them once again, finishing almost identical score. Nicov just edging that out by 31.
Oh. Good for him, getting a lot of kills here in the end, and now I have the GG chiming as well. I think we need to think there a bit more once we get into the late game. We will improve that in the upcoming days. It seems like capture rate, well, it is the first experiment here to make it run for team game tournaments, and well, maybe the performance not 100% there yet for the team games, but well, we will see about that in the upcoming tournaments and the upcoming games for sure. Beautiful game number 4 here. And another win for MbL+Nicov. Now they have 3 match points.
Indeed they do. And I think they're looking pretty solid. Their one loss was, I think, just a really weird opening from MbL that just obviously didn't work out. So I think that they should be in a pretty good spot to go forward and take the series. But obviously, Liereyy, at least individually, is someone who definitely can always bring it back.
Yeah, let's hope so. And well, I'm excited to see the other maps. In this one, as you said, slight score advantage in the end for Mr. Nicov. And MbL got a lot of kills. Did get some conversions here. Hera with a lot of losses there, but was fighting with the weaker units. And well, not that many options. Luckily, Hera was this time the guy who tried to palisade hop, right? And they lost the game. Feels weird.
No tricky admin decisions needed.
Well, but still, like, yeah, it is tricky because they are kind of in the wall, but so the rules say it should be allowed to hop there, but on Acropolis, every single straggler, every single tree is a straggler, so you can delete those at all times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the conflicting laws. We need to get some attorneys in here.
Yeah, ECL is a bit more clear there, so good on them. And I think I have to ask you to maybe we solo cast from Imp on or something, because capture rate apparently isn't running full speed here.
Yeah, I was wondering what you wanted to do with that. I can try slowing down my game, but that probably wouldn't be super consistent either.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I think it always goes back up to the full speed there as well, right? Let me see. I will take a look into the Discord group here. Someone messaging me to improve anything. No. Okay. So then we will just keep it like that for now. Spec delay started. I will take a quick bathroom break. Be right back in 2 minutes.
Sounds good.
You?
Okay, you're back, Nilly. Great.
Yes, I'm back, but AoE crashed for me. So it's a nice combination of Hippo mod and capture rate. But luckily we got games running mostly.
And you know what? It's all about just getting you're getting there mostly, and that's what's important. Spoken as someone who has just finished their finals.
Okay.
You're mostly there. But we are on Golden Hill, which is a map that I don't think I have seen since Nations Cup.
NAC1 had it? But yeah, it's not the most common map at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think it was even played that much in NAC1. Which is also a 1v1 tournament, whereas I think this map is actually much more interesting as far as team games go.
Yeah, I think so as well. We are fighting for the big center and area here. A lot of gold, a lot of stone, a lot of extra relics as well. We have some water control as well. We see the double dog opening here from our Japanese player Liereyy. His teammate Hera will play the Spanish. On the other side we have Persians and Japanese. What do you think about those civilizations?
Well, I was so amazed by them that I forgot to talk about them. So yeah, I think the Persians pick is going to be pretty solid here in accompaniment to Japanese, which you have, in addition to both of these civilizations being quite powerful on the water in at least the early to mid game. Persians do, of course, drop off later, but for now will be just fine. You also have the further cavalry plus archer accompaniment as far as any land engagements go. And oh, just look at this! Look at this landing attempt here from Liereyy onto the boar. And he's gonna. Oh my god, he's gonna get it.
Seems like it. Nice move here, Liereyy, using his fire galley to perfection. Let's take a look if he can take a fight on the land here as well. At the moment, we have the double stable opening, MbL and Terra. The others are going for the water approach here. Nicov starting off with one fishing ship though, and now only goes for some fire galleys. And as we mentioned, double dock from Liereyy, so he should have a bit more control.
Yeah, that was just a cute little play. Unfortunately, villagers can't eat roast boar for some reason. Seems rather counterintuitive.
Yeah, barbecue boarman.
Ripperino. Scouts trying to find the villager, not able to do so. But I think, despite Persians being really strong, I think Spanish are a little bit better, especially since this is a map that can go long and is also a map that really can favor control of the middle. Obviously, Spanish can make castles and use conquistadors and have bombard towers potentially. And yeah, you even have nice trade lines set up for a potential super long game.
Oh, that would be sick if we go into the real trade control here. But yeah, the big question is how many conquistadors will he get out? How much will be the control of the center? As we all know, we don't have that much gold to work with here. Not that much stone either. And well, center control will be so important. Conquistadors could be a great unit to do that.
Yeah, certainly. Just thinking back to Nations Cup, usually it was like Aztecs who were slung. But I'm sure conks would have worked just as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like people just running around with some fire galleys. Nothing too crazy. Whatever fishing ships they can get out. Of course, as you were saying, Liereyy going to be having that very, I think, distinct advantage. All of these 4 fishing ships, Japanese fishing ships, just so powerful in terms of food economy.
4 already. That's kind of a greedy play. Interesting that he made that happen. But yeah, it reminds me a bit of his approach on Coastal Mountain yesterday. Just super greedy, lots of villagers on wood, and gets his eco rolling, trying to cut a lot of corners. And well, it did pay off for him on Coastal Mountain. And here, it looks like he has quite a nice boom and some army as well. So solid for him as well.
Yeah, I honestly really like Lierey's approach. He was able to get the wall off. I mean, you only have to worry about the 2 shallow crossings. Nicov actually will be able to punch through Hera's side, but I don't really think the scouts are doing anything, because you don't really need control of the middle in the feudal age. Because you do have the 4 tiles of gold in your starting base to at least get you going. Well, actually, plus 3 more. So yeah, you really don't need control of the middle right now, and just comfortably sit back, get your fish boom going, and focus on water.
Look at that, MbL is even taking 2 bloodlines, and you just said that feudal center control isn't that important, so bloodlines, is that a waste of resources?
In the long run, no. But yeah, right now, it is completely a waste of resources. I have no idea why MbL isn't just more aggressively trying to go for water. He is building a fishing ship. But yeah, not really sold on this game plan. And Nicov isn't even... oh, no, he's just walling his base. It's the good old contingency walls for landing.
But look at that. One villager against the boar.
The revenge of Gaia right there. Getting the boar burnt alive earlier.
Ripperino. And we have a lot of access in the center still. But there shouldn't be too much happening, I said. But Nicov did prepare a transporter for MbL. So maybe 5 Bloodline Scouts in the end could do something.
Yeah, I didn't think that MbL would be able to get the transport over. Especially since Liereyy does have a lot of water control right now, but Hera scouts are much, well, I guess much less right. They don't have bloodlines, which is a big deal. But how are you going to get that transport ship across the channels to safety? Lierey's fleet's kind of in the way.
Well, Nicov has quite a bit, so I don't mind that too much. Let's take a look. Liereyy is going back. The transporter not spotted so far. Scouts will be able to come in, and Hera, his army is super far away.
Yeah, no, this could potentially get a ton of damage, and obviously you're not really expecting a bunch of scouts to run into your base. I like the decision from MbL. I don't know if it was intentional, but to go around the back so you're not running by the market and all of the vision that would give Hera. So yeah, as little notice as possible. Does Hera have, and he's going to be losing at least 3 villagers, I think. Probably more. Oh no, not another peasant uprising.
2 already going down. 3rd one is kind of trapped as well. Villagers are fighting a bit. 3rd villager down. 4th villager in some danger as well. I'm not sure why he did send more villagers here to fight. This is looking really bad for him.
Yeah, already down 28 villagers. He doesn't even have any fishing ships to sort of compensate for that. It's quite rough.
Where are his scouts? Is he landing somewhere as well?
Yeah, he just landed on right next to Nicov.
Okay, so they are going for the same strategy. Let's take a look. Maybe he can deal a lot of damage to counter that off, but he has 0 upgrades on his scouts, so maybe Nicov could even fight this.
Yeah, just actually, he's not choosing. Funnily enough, the person who shouldn't have fought it, and the person who could have fought it did not fight it.
Okay, 1 villager going down, maybe the 2nd one, not really. Scout instantly died, very low HP there. Meanwhile, water fight, tough to judge who has the advantage. Looks like Liereyy only with 3 here at the side. Okay, now getting some more for reinforcements.
Yep. Turns out it's a water fight, you know. They're fire galleys, they're demo ships, they run into each other.
Uh-oh, scouts could actually die against the demo here, and just a debation, and just... Oh, okay, it's the same player. Okay, my bad. It's the same teammate. I was like
what,
Nicov?
am I like totally missing something?
Oh, I nearly fail.
Oh no, that's happened to me before as well. No.
I was so happy that if it would have happened, but
you're trying to have the hype happen, but unfortunately, just normal stuff.
Oh man, yeah.
Funnily enough, though, Hera will actually be the first player up to Castle Age.
Yeah, although he had quite a lot of losses, no fish as we mentioned before, so this is kind of rough for him. 6 fishing ship, well, fishing away for Liereyy. He is getting some raids in his home base, something I didn't see so far.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a villager. No, 2 villagers I see.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
2 villagers. 3 villagers. I see 3 villagers dead. 2 scouts dead. I see another villager dying because I can see in the future.
Yeah, I see number 4 on the way.
Yeah.
Actually, MbL's kill death ratio is insane. He's got 16 kills to 5 deaths. These scouts have definitely paid for themselves in spades.
Yeah, and we were skeptical of Bloodlines, but it did pay off indeed now. Oh, look at those villagers moving forward. And I can see 750 stone for Hera, so he will get the castle up. And, well, that will be at a beautiful spot to control quite a bit. Nicov is actually building another transporter that will go down here, potentially. No, he's attacking the dock.
Oh no! The dock block!
Not shooting fast enough, far enough.
It's so weird how the fire ship projectile works like that. Like, you see that happen from time to time where, especially like if it was like fire ships attacking each other, they just don't shoot over.
Oh man, well, lazy one for sure. Maybe get the kill later on, and now he finally switches target. Oh man.
There we go.
MbL now going for 3 stables in the center, but that still shouldn't work out against Conquistadors from Hera, right?
No amount of knights will save you against conquistadors, man. They're so scary. Not really sure what MbL plans on accomplishing this. Okay, the third is a monastery, but still 3 stables total is quite a lot of knight production. Maybe why are you trying to fight with your villagers? Jump to the castle.
Yeah, he was just debating. He knew he wouldn't lose any, and just take the fight a bit under the castle and then jump into it. Because he still had full HP with all of them.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. That was a cute little move then. MbL guarding husbandry, obviously recognizing that this is going to be very important against the conquistadors. Ooh, actually even swooping into the base of Liereyy once again with these scouts that I would have assumed have died, but in fact did not. And that's even more dead villagers for Liereyy.
Wow, that is sloppy play by Liereyy, honestly. 3 villagers extra down, and I was thinking about why is the Hera not building maybe 1 knight to defend this area? I think he should have spared those resources.
Yeah, I mean, even if you can't sling resources, you can't sling capital, you can still sling, you know, your actual units. You can just send a knight over and it would have cleaned up all those scouts easy peasy. Now we have lots of camels being made by MbL. Camels will do a bit better against the conquistadors, I guess, than the knights, but still not that spectacularly. Even a siege workshop here, along with the monastery. I'm not sure to what end this is going to help.
Hera now building a watchtower in the center. Some mass conquistadors. I think he could even try to attack Nicov here. Water fight seems to be slightly in favor of Liereyy. No, not most important thing. 2 conversions started. None finished here, as you can see in the overlay.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. Well, we have some lasers being sent by the monks now, which actually shows the conversion process now here on Capture Edge. Beautiful thing.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have to check it out. But yeah, MbL will be getting his TC up in the middle, so both teams will have at least some sort of control of the middle of the map. Of course, this space is big enough. It's not like most Gold Rush maps, for instance, where you can't really have both teams there at the same time. At least there will be at least something of a standoff as we see the fire ships and demo ships continue to ram into each other endlessly.
2 demos here for Liereyy. Can he save the one in the top? Looks like it, so he should probably win this fight. Next tower even. Hera? I'm a bit surprised that he's so scared of... What is that? A mangonel monk push or something that he's scared of? He's building so many towers there.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, guard towers would be fantastic here in terms of defending your gold, as there's just no way you can push down guard towers in the castle age without rams. And you can't really go for like a big ram rush against all those conquistadors and town center and stuff.
Hera was super risky there with the transporter of Liereyy, and yeah, that's not going to happen. Is killing. Yeah, okay. It was good that he didn't commit there.
That was like an inverse Dunkirk moment. All the army was just chilling on the shoreline as the rescue transport was getting just wrecked.
Okay, demos now. Let's take a look how good of connections they will get against the conquistadors. They are running away. Demos are not connecting here.
Oh, trying to block?
Are they? Are they? Oh, some damage dealt, but all surviving of the conquistadors. Hui.
No huge demo shots right now.
Okay, aggressive castle now by MbL. He has 500 food, 600 gold, and I think he should be up to Imperial Age the earliest.
Yeah, of course, we didn't really get to see it pan out in the last game, but Persian economy incredibly strong, even though he only has the 2 TCs. Faster villager production is so good, even TC number 3 on the way, because it is MbL, of course. And yeah, the guard towers, yeah, they're going to be good against the mangonels and monks and camels and such. But if we see the faster imp from MbL, which he should be clicking up right now, indeed he is, yeah, he's going to destroy in the Treb War.
Conversions now, both finishing here, and you saw two monks going down in revenge, but Mangonel could get maybe some ground attacks, not really. MbL not willing to commit here. MbL is up to Imperial Age, and overall populations very even by everyone, but simply being up to Imp means so much. Meanwhile, Hera at 40 food only.
Yeah, that is, I think, a really big problem. Even, of course, Persian's going to be getting to the Imperial Age 15% faster. They were the melee of their time, but a lot less. But yeah, you're totally right. The Treb War is going to be really big, and don't really see Hera doing anything to stop that. He spent all the stone on these towers. He only has the one castle. And I think, yes, Liereyy might be winning a bit on water, but it's not really enough to call like a real decisive advantage.
Oh, the transport actually debated quite nicely there against Liereyy, against Nicov, and Transporter didn't take any losses, so Conquistadors will get in here, and Nicov, he lost quite a bit. Conquistadors now on the mainland, but I still fear heavily for Hera's castles and towers in the center.
Nilly, were you doubting the contingency walls? You can't doubt the contingency walls, man.
See those earlier. Yeah, we have only one palisade wall here, but TC behind. So yeah, Nicov is well set up, but just pass through the center now could be an option.
Yeah, that's certainly very much a possibility. Nikov's still kind of exposed on the right-hand side, but it's going to be pretty tricky just running through all of those war galleys. You're going to be just taking so much damage on your Conquistadors, it might not be worth it. Hera actually getting scale mail armor. Maybe trying to think of a halberdier switch, but that doesn't seem like a particularly powerful thing to do in the Castle Age.
I'm a bit surprised. Yeah, he's indeed going for barracks. He's thinking about the camel push and castle, or what is going on? MbL, he will just wreck this. Some traps, Mangonel push as well. He will have all the control. I don't see Hera's halberdier push doing anything.
Yeah, also these guard towers don't have any fletching or bodkin arrows, so they're only dealing 1 damage to the mangonels. So not really doing the guard tower thing that you would expect from them. Oh man, big fight coming in with the Conquistadors. Will they get the mangonel shots? It looks like not even a single mangonel died.
You're slightly ahead again. Pre-conversion started now. Mangonels are not getting too many shots in as well, as you said. And indeed, Mangonels not taking any losses. More conversions happening here now the other way around, but those traps are just firing away.
Yep, I did slow my game down a little bit. TC's going to be going down, and still no Imperial Age in sight. I mean, yes, Liereyy does appear to be winning water, but he's actually kind of behind in villagers. And doesn't really have that many fishing ships anymore by the looks of things, so... yeah, Nicov might even have a better Imperial Age time.
Not sure how important that's going to be. Yeah, Liereyy has a lot of food, but not that much gold. Is running out of it, maybe? Let's take a look. How much gold does he have? 600 here, and some at that side. He has a total of 2.3k gold, as we can see. Let's take a look at all this together, and it's 2.3k gold, indeed, yeah.
2.3 gold for 2.3k players. Or something.
Or something.
Well, at least it's not a Viper, then it would only be 2k2 gold.
Okay.
Oh, man. But
Camels
yeah,
now moving forward.
Heavy camels against Castle Age units.
4 relics for MbL, by the way, and now the big move in here. Conquistadors finding a beautiful spot in between those 2 big buildings. We have 1 conversion, but still the castle is going to go down. The camels are smashing this down, and I just feel like MbL might have won this for his team.
Yeah, I think that MbL just played incredibly well. His scouts, we were making fun of them in the Feudal Age, but they got the transport through, and they got a ton of damage done. Really can't fault MbL for that, and just from there was just way ahead of Hera in most respects. And the water fight, yeah, again, it might have been slightly won by Liereyy, but just does that really matter when you have this this huge hill with all the golden stone and relics? You can see MbL even having monks in position to steal the relic that is being trebbed down.
Was it the scouts with the 5 scouts with bloodlines winning the game for MbL? They did so much damage to Liereyy, so much damage to Hera early on as well, kept them around for ages, and then his eco was just so much superior over Team AM Micro.
Yeah, it might be like I remember like when Castle Age came in, MbL had like 16 kills to 5 deaths. That's pretty crazy for just only a 5 scout investment. And yeah, with the power of the Persian economy, you can really just continuously get further and further ahead. I mean, now actually Nicov has the highest villager count in the game, but he's still in Castle Age for some reason.
Nicov still doesn't have wheelbarrow. Oh, now he's getting it. Okay,
there
perfect timing looking at that. And yeah, 111
so much for reformed Nicov.
Oh man, he in general doesn't have a lot of upgrades, right? Bosov, Fletching, and did get the first farm upgrade there, horse color, but well, the rest is maybe on water. Let's take a look. This looks to be a bad fight for Liereyy, and well, he will reach Imp any second now, but how do they ever get back onto center control? Mass Pikemen won't deal the job, especially because MbL, now he is adding the fearsome Persian archers.
Very fearsome. And I was just about to make a joke about what are you gonna do with all the camel bonus damage against ships.
Ah, okay.
I mean, the camels have actually taken out several ships at this point.
Well, let's take a look. Indeed, they're continuing to do that, and oh god, the damage output is just unreal from camels towards ships. And well, let's take a look. Now losing the mining camp as well. MbL is just super safe. I think why didn't he just tech for hand cannoneers? I think that felt a bit more natural. Maybe just felt, okay, I need the army a bit faster.
Yeah, maybe MbL was playing on the hypothetical balance patch that Trirem thought, where he wanted to make Persian crossbowmen not cost gold as like a unique tech replacement for boiling oil.
Oh, okay. That's
like they would cost food instead of gold.
Okay.
But you'd still be stuck with crossbowmen without bracer in the late game.
Okay, well, it doesn't sound like the greatest idea, honestly.
No, I don't think so either. But it's the only explanation I have, man. It's the only thing I can think about when I see Persian archers in the late game.
Oh, okay. Hera now completely evacuating the center area. We don't have any trade set up at the side. MbL still has his 2 scouts alive, by the way. Completely ignored those, and yeah, they are just having all the center control here.
I think those 2 scouts, they deserve a break. They did their job. They did so much work in the Feudal Age for AM Macro. And yeah, this castle's coming out everywhere. This is a map that you can trade, and there is Spanish trade as a potential for Liereyy and Hera. I mean, I think you can orient the markets in such a way that even elite cannon galleons might not be able to bombard them, but can you really hold on?
I don't really see that happening. You can always land at all spots. You have no control. You will face 10 relics against you. And, well, just to begin with this, does Liereyy even... Let me check. Did he see his stone here? No, he didn't even scout his second stone spot. Now goes into some Arbalest, but no Halberdiers in front of those. I don't think this is a great army composition for them.
That's some AM scouting if I've ever seen it from Liereyy. Oh, man. What was it with Liereyy and not scouting important stone mines? It's like that Mediterranean game against Tim.
Yeah, that one, yeah.
Yeah.
ECL,
that was an ECL.
Yeah, indeed. And, well, Liereyy maybe thinks, okay, I will play this full out on water then. Goes for more galleons, attacks cannon galleons now, and maybe tries to take down the center that way.
I mean... It's probably their best bet. I still don't think it's good, but it's still probably their best bet. Looks like MbL is going to be going back onto water right now. Persians, of course, do not have shipwright, but they do at least have the faster working docks to begin with. Going to be coming in with some fast fire ships, and once those come in, I think they should be able to destroy all these all these ships from Mr. Liereyy.
Yeah, Liereyy potentially might add some demos against that. Could be an option. Traps now firing down. I'm, by the way, at 42 minutes 35 seconds at the moment. We had another landing from Hera at the side, but camels are yeah, just smashing this down.
Yeah, I slowed down to 1 game speed. But unfortunately, Japanese do not have heavy demo ship. That's going to be a big problem in dealing with fast fire ships.
Okay, I think Spanish do, right?
Yeah, Spanish are one of the 2 civs to have a full naval tech tree, along with Byzantines.
I would have said Malay, but yeah, okay. Then
no, Malay also lack heavy demo ship.
Okay, feels bad, man.
There you go. There's your Ornlu tech tree of the day.
Ah, sweet, sweet. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. Like, there are very few people that could beat me if we do like, who is writing down tech trees better. But you would be one of them.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of conversions, but none of them finished. Liereyy is moving away. Cannon Galleons are doing their work here. Overall population actually somewhat even, 310 to 280.
Yeah, but I think the fire ships should do really well right here. Yeah, conversions are starting to come in. Not as good as I would have thought, but yeah. Does look like GG will be called soon, as my game randomly decided to speed up to insane levels.
Okay, well, that might just be a woobly thingy as well. Caravans, so now AM, Liereyy, and Hera starting to trade, trying to get that full control. And let's take a look how MbL is trying to take the engagement here at the side. Arbalest are trying to fight this off. Meanwhile, well, push from the top is not really happening. Traps got sniped down, and now the conversions. 12 monks around here. Let's take a look how much they can get done.
Not as much as you would think, but still enough, especially with help of the airships from MbL.
We have 3 conversions, something like that here, and indeed the fast fire ships are clearing this off in the end. I think Nicov got like 4 conversions, maybe 5, so that's something to work with. I think maybe even 6 now. And yeah, Liereyy is losing the water. G2, the G, and MbL+Nicov, they are going into the finals.
Yes, they will, and that's something they should definitely be feeling good about, considering that they were unfortunately eliminated in doubles age due to, I think they needed to win 1 game in like a best of 5, and they didn't win 1 game.
Against Omi there, right? Yeah, just got smashed 3-0.
Yeah, that was a bit unfortunate for them, but at least they will have something of a resurgence here, making it all the way to the finals of Clash of the Hippo 5. And I think they'll be looking pretty good. I think whatever team they go up against, they'll have a really good shot against.
Yeah, and we will see if they get the rematch against Suomi indeed, or if TheViper and TaToH are going through and making it happen into the next semifinal, starting in roughly half an hour.
There we go. Might have time to eat some breakfast.
Oh, must be nice.
Oh, you bet.
And nice team play here by MbL+Nicov for sure. The other maps would have been Flooded Crossing Continental. Would have loved to see those being played as well. And, well, we will go and take a look into the achievements of this game. MbL with the greatest KD. Must have been only those scouts, right?
All the scouts. No, but it just overall really solid play from Nicov and MbL. I think they're honestly developing into like a really, really, really good 2v2 duo. Just I see them play all the time. They played a show match like a couple weeks ago where they played really well against, I think it was like DauT and TaToH.
Okay.
Yeah, the Liereyy hosted it. It was on the Hideout. Yeah, like they won like 4-1 or something in the best of 7.
Okay. Sounds solid. Sounds solid.
Yeah, they're just, I think, getting better and better, developing better synergy.
Yeah, Okay, lovely stuff there. And, well, we will have you eating breakfast. I will see what I will do as an entertainment. T90 Memp are also having a break, so let's see what we can do. I can update the brackets in the meanwhile. Enjoy your breakfast.
Why, thank you. I will see you in a little bit.
Okay, then let's update the score here. We have the other semifinal. It will be TheViper and TaToH going against TheMax and Villese. I'm not sure what the game speed. It felt like it only got into snail mode after the game was over anyways. So the last 2.5 minutes just felt unbearably slow. But I might have been wrong with that as well. Not too sure. So moving into the finals are from the top, I believe, right? Let's take a look. MbL+Nicov, indeed. MbL+Nicov. Let's select those. Look at those beautiful flags. They are going through and they won their series 4-1 here. I hope you enjoyed that first semi-final, the first one. That wasn't a clear sweep. I think it goes snail mode once GG is called. Okay, but we didn't have that before. Let me ask the team behind the scenes. What's... Oops, no caps lock. Don't want to scream at them. What's happening with the slow game at the end? Max needs a result to cement himself as Viper's rival. Well, it's still 2v2, right? So, tough to say. The Struggler, Jupe, Burndy, Chanbanor, and Dave, thank you all for your support. Jupe came in with the host, and Harmonics before that as well. Thank you all for your great support. Are you joking, man? The only rivals for Viper are Liereyy+Nicov. Interesting. You didn't follow a lot of Age of Empires in the last years, apparently. Nicov is not the guy we can list there. I think Yo might be an option. You could list MbL when we won Arabia, and Liereyy for sure. Any troubles with Woobly connecting right now? It's dropped, I think, once in the last 5 games. So that's something I could work with. The Max and Belize, indeed. Let's take a look. We can add SNAS here as well. That will be 23 minutes to go. Finals going to be best of 7 as well. Well, the schedule and the brackets are saying best of 9. If, for example, the next series is going to 7 games and we are only finishing at 18 GMT, I will probably give them half an hour break to relax and will cut it down to best of 7. If we now have like a 4-1, 4-0 that only takes 2.5 hours, then I will most certainly ask them if they're fine with best of 9. They kind of signed up for the tournament and I didn't get any bad feedback before that, so yeah. Yeah, Toplo might be the greatest rival for sure. What do you think about T90 casting your event on his own channel? It was my goal to do that. That's kind of my ideal of all tournaments, right? Everyone is hosting tournaments, making them open for all, and he is contributing to the prize pool as well. So if you donate over there, everyone is, well, adding to the prize pool and making it a greater tournament in general. At least that's my plan. So yeah, I talked to him before that, and yeah, it was planned. Hope you're all having a wonderful day here. Let's take a look if we... Let me see, what is T90 doing? Okay, he's doing something with viewers maybe. Prize pool, as you can see below. donations are going into the prize pool from all streamers. Nobody quits AOC. Let's see if we can get a 1v1 roll. Nearly following up on balanced discussion from yesterday, option versus single strengths. Who are the worst offenders for both in your view? What? Opinions versus single strengths. I don't get the question. IOE retires you. Okay. Thanks for the tournament. It's pretty nice. And how long do you expect the next match to start? Oh, look at the top. Who won AM or Secret? We can take a look at the brackets together so that you're updated with that as well. Everything else should be set up here, right? TheViper, TaToH, it says semifinals, best of 7, TheMax and Villese. Looks good, looks good. Okay, we can join. We only have 20 minutes, so I'm a bit surprised. We will jump into a team game now with the Hippo settings. Let's see about that. Do you think one day AOE will have 40k plus viewers on major tournaments? Well, not AOE 2, but maybe AOE 4 might have an option. Just very maybe AOE 2 DE, but I don't see that happening. Yeah. Okay, we'll try to understand the question again. Following up on the balanced discussion from yesterday, opinions versus single strengths, who are the worst offenders for both in your view? Options. Ah, okay, now I read the... Okay, well, Koreans, clearly the worst civilization. Yeah, and I don't think the bright or white tech tree is that bad. How much is it an issue for the winner of the second semi to play with only a short break after the match? I will give them half an hour if they need one. In Hidden Cup, Viper seem to have a problem with that. I will give that to them, yeah. Okay, T90 wanted to set up a community game, and surprisingly, no one has the mod installed. So, yeah, that's not going to happen. Oh. Oh. Okay, now I offered Röchelrochen a 1v1 in deathmatch, and he can decide both civilizations. People coming up with really bad ideas. So how that worked with Roboman? Okay, so we're playing 1v1 against Röchelrochen. And yeah, let's see how we will deal here. Next series is coming up, TheViper and TaToH in roughly 15 minutes against TheMax and Villese. First semi-final was won by AM. The loser of the first semi-final was AM. Instant replay. I don't need that transition anymore. It's really loud for me. I'm a bit surprised. Okay, let's see how this plays out. Have fun. Okay, so won't be a scout war. Might be housed here at some point. See, maybe we'll just do bloodlines after it. Did I scout in the wrong direction? Not really. Okay, he's housed. Okay. Okay, yeah, revenge, yeah. I think he cannot really move out comfortably here, right? Archer range will be tricky for him as well. I have a lot of low HP scouts though. That's not pretty. Where is he? Okay, still at home. Okay, should be on gold now as well, right? Still doesn't have fetching. It's kind of weird. Okay, I'm actually winning the hill advantage fight here. Okay, he should have some troubles getting a lot of food now. He has to build a lot of farmers. KT has to be brutal. Oh. Yeah, would upgrade would have helped. And him going double barracks. It is tricky to play this and you're losing both boards instantly. Had a very tight base, not the greatest berries as well. GG. Yeah, would upgrade was desperately needed earlier, but hey. KD 23-9. Yeah, he must have been like not even thinking about upping, I believe. Can we stay in this game? I'll just overtake T90's room. Tournament starts on time. Oh, don't think about that. No. Oh, the Max is actually here already. Onlo is joining as well. And I think I will get some more sugar water for myself before we jump into the big Semifinal number 2 pretty soon. Language, please. Okay, we have a good idea apparently about the fix there. I will give you another 5 minutes on the clock, guys. Sorry for that. TheMax is here, upped himself, TheViper and TaToH both in the lobby, Villese as well, so should all be fine. What are predictions on the game and why do you think Viper and TaToH will win? That's confusing. Do I have a choice now? Can admins import new brackets? I'm actually the only admin. You will be able to take a look into the brackets here. I can't see the link syncing. Maybe you send me a PM with the link. What happens tomorrow on the channel? Monday, indeed. Ah, Schinken. Okay, now we should be set up. Viper here as well. 3 out of 4 players, only waiting for TaToH. Whoever wins the semifinal wins the tournament? I'm skeptical about that. Sub count should be around 420 at the moment. There's a plan to implement the chat in the new CA overlay. I'm not responsible for that. You have to ask someone from the CA team. That's nbrain, Deco, and Sir Lawrence in the chats. I actually think that tournaments shouldn't have chat in there. If I do casual games, maybe just have it there. But tournaments should be way cleaner. So I don't mind that we don't have space for chat at the moment. I only have chat on my normal overlay because there's just empty space that I don't know how to fill. Was in discussion to fill that spot with sponsors during NAC2 as well. Jordan not playing today? I don't know. He's not online. And TaToH is. So a good indicator that TaToH is playing. Oi. Jordan is resting for the final? Indeed. Chat in casual streams? Yeah, I think that's fine for me as well. But in serious tournaments with good overlays, I think keeping it this way a bit cleaner would be nice, yeah. Has anything surprised you in the tourney so far? The preparation of Liereyy? The underperformance of Bact and Stark? That's it. Yeah. When does the match start? We have 3 players here. Drafting should start pretty soon. I would say the first game will start in roughly 10 minutes. I think my next tournament will have the rules players being late minus 10% prize pool. I think I will go with that, yeah. Change title? Thanks. TheViper plus TaToH versus TheMax plus Villese. Thanks. Who's late? TaToH. 10% per minute. No, I would give them just 1 minute, 10%, yeah. No Jordan in title. Let's see if he plays. Then I will add it for you. Yeah. Minute 11, they owe me parts of the prize pool. Or maybe Jordan is late, yeah. Unfair teams. Oh, they should switch around. They should draft teams. Hey, your stream is on the dining room on my parents' house. Everybody will watch some AU2 games on Mother's Day. Mario Colombia, mother. Hello. Thank you. Greetings to Brazil. Thank you so much for updating AU2 eSport earnings as well. You have a great son. Very respectful guy. You raised him well. TaToH is usually punctual, isn't he? Yes. If Jordan plays, then Secret has a chance here. Yeah, otherwise I think it should be a clear win for TheMax and Villese. Yeah. Have you ever seen Rockbeans TV Endgegner AOE2? If so, how many would you have gotten right? I watched it in a group. I think I saw all of them. Yeah, I don't know how much I would have gotten right. More than them, but I would have had no clue about some stuff as well. Keen Zilol and Sofa, thanks. When does the set start? 10 minutes ago or 20 minutes from now? 10 minutes ago. TaToH is here now as well. Secret is a for the drafting. Okay. T90 official will... he doesn't want to write down the maps. Wanted me to write down the maps for him. And I said, dude, just listen to what they're writing now in the chat. And he said like, yeah, it's so tough at the time. And I said, okay, dude, I will take a screenshot from my stream and send it to you. And now he said, okay, I will take the screenshot of my own. Okay. Ah, no, he will send it, make a screenshot from the draft, I believe. Yeah, that makes more sense. Oh. Why is it called Clash of the Hippo? Because it is a lot of clash. And it's sponsored or organized by the Hippo. Maybe I could have called it Clash by the Hippo. Clash by the Hippo. Might have been the better word. Why don't you make a channel with T90 and call it Cast all tourneys together? Interesting business model. So we will start it off with Arabia here as map number 1. The first map from Team Secret. Instant follow-up pick by the Finns is Chaos Pit behind this. Now we have 2 bands. Eldorado by the Finns band. So Chinese and Indians kind of free to be picked for other maps. Can you say all the stream players where AoE is the main income? Interjection, Hamuel, Robo, Zero Empires, T90, Memp, me, Lux, not Paladin anymore. TaToH, DauT, Vivio, Viper. Then obviously some Vietnamese Age of Empires 1 players that I don't know. Golden Hill was banned and now Coast to Mountain, map number 3. Interesting to see if they came up with a strategy there. I hope so. Yeah, I think that's all that I know. Sorry if you already answered this, but do you see on team clearly better than the others? What? Yeah, do you see one team? Okay, I'm not reading well today. Yes, for me, TaToH and Viper are the favorites. They are seed number 1. TheMax and Villese got seed number 4. The 2 AM teams that we just saw had seed 2 and 3. Never saw Coast to Mountain in team games? Well, then you didn't carefully watch yesterday. Graveyards, map number 5. So, maps picked from TheMax and Villese are Chaos Put, Continental, and Graveyards. Now we have 2 more maps being picked by Team Secret. Nearly buy some glasses. I should go to school. That would make more sense. Where are the players? Hidden. You didn't see Slam and DauT playing then? That's true. Actually, a pretty good game yesterday evening. How does SKP show a profit? They seem to hire many people and fund a lot of prize pool. You have to ask them. Nearly, is there a tournament with just the bad civs? No, I asked players about that and they hate that idea. Maybe if I did something like that, we could see some more civilizations, but the top players wouldn't play. Who's playing today? Bracket is helping you out, schedule is helping you out. Down below there are links. The stream title helps you out and it's shown on the stream. Maybe 1 ECL is next week or 2 weeks from now. I'm not sure. Like my calendar said it starts next week, but 4v4 isn't done yet. So I'm not sure if they will delay or what's happening. Secret, 2 more picks. ICL. Team Acropolis and Rift Islands are the other maps. Okay. Double flying in. Okay, anything else I need to tell them? Remember, no straggler laming. No trees at all on Team Acropolis on the Acropolis. Please also odd versus even colors. Please, also like we can give, yeah. Scary DauT, good thinking. No sling, that's what they know. I think it's not even possible in the mod. Who will we give the host to? Let's give it to TaToH? Oh no, TaToH doesn't want to host, but well, I will spectate myself. And that should be fine. Arabia, Chaos Pit, Coast to Mountain, Continental Graveyard, Team Acropolis and Rift Island. Quite a nice mix there. Some water around. I'm happy with those picks. Yeah, no official location and time set for the CL finals. The finals today? Yes. We'll have this semi-final, then a break, and then the final. Who picked Coast to Mountain? I think it was pick... those questions. Coast to Mountain was the pick of... TaToH and Viper. So it's TaToH Viper, TheMax Villese, TaToH Viper, TheMax Villese, TheMax Villese, TaToH Viper, TaToH Viper. So 1, 3, 6, 7 are from Viper and TaToH. Yeah, pretty sure about that. They did start now. Like, launching into the game. Bact didn't start yet. We still have some time. Whose players are participating in ECL 1v1 stage for Heresy? Well, I'm not allowed to tell you that. Shaiken with Fear fan, maybe? With a Prime. Thank you so much for your support. Kind of missed that earlier. And let me read something up. Do we have any more messages here? Or using F10 full screen mode. Okay, let's see about that. Onlu is ready. Join whenever. I tell him. I just reached home after drunk driving for 120 kilometers. Don't do that. You should have not done that either. Frankie Omega, thank you so much for $5 supporting the tournament. What do you think of Serengeti as a map? I think it's different enough from Arabia to be pretty interesting. Would like to see it in some of these tournaments. Yeah, it is pretty reasonable. It would, for me, it is a bit different from Arabia, but not different enough. If I implemented Serengeti, I would replace it for Arabia, and then I would get a lot of hate, like, we want to have Arabia as a standard map as well. I would only do it if we go into a really big map pool. But even then, it's too close together, I believe. Zapdos! Cheers, man. Yeah, Serengeti is a bit more open than Arabia. Spec delay now started, guys. 2.5 minutes till we jump into the second semi-final. I'm getting excited for that.
And I am too. There we go.
Didn't expect you to come from the side.
Yeah, that's why I jumped in.
Good timing. Okay, I want to hear some excitement from you and maybe even some predictions. TaToH and Viper against TheMax and Villese. Best of 7.
Well, I do think this should be a very exciting series. Watching Suomi and Secret play is always going to be watching some really high-level, good teamwork, coordination, strategies. All that stuff should be really interesting. I feel like it's always really close when these two teams face off, but I do have to give it to TaToH and Viper, just because I'm extra boring. But obviously, Suomi has upset them, several times in the past. And if Viper isn't playing in his top form, then it definitely is more than possible for Suomi to make stuff happen.
Yeah. I hope so as well. Their team play is incredible as well. They performed extremely well yesterday against SY, playing super aggressively in Feudal Age. And, well, there wasn't even a close game against Lux and Yo. That speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, Lux and Yo are no slouches. So there's really interesting. Like, so many of the top teams can have their days where they just look amazing and then, just totally fall apart. But I am in the game now. Are you in the game as well, Nilly?
Well, I'm in the game, and I'm now launching Capture Age as well. So we can jump into it in, let's say, 10 seconds. Everything should be set up here quite nicely, and you can go for your epic intros.
Ever so epic. So, all right, everybody. Welcome to our second semifinal. We'll be featuring 2 members from Secret and 2 members from Suomi. Our Secret team will have TaToH here in the red as the Huns to the north of the map, on Arabia, of course. And his teammate over in the yellow to the west of the map, you may have heard of him. He is TheViper, making a market very quickly along with the stable. Might indicate the lots of scouts and/or fast bloodlines. Then, of course, we'll have Villese for Suomi in the blue as the Ethiopians, already going for Archer Ranger Blacksmith, going for the fast Archer play that, like we saw from Liereyy in the last series. And finally, TheMax will be our Cyan Indian player over to the east of the map.
And he did open with the market as well, as we saw. So buying some food, dropping down to only 32 gold. So wants to spam out quite a lot of scouts. Same potentially for TaToH. Let's take a look. He's still staying at 300 gold. The amount we are starting with. The only one who doesn't touch his gold count for now. And now trying to take the fight here. 4 against 3 scouts. We are watching Clash of the Hippo 5 semifinal number 2. Best of 7 coming our way in the finals already. MbL and Nicov waiting for their opponent.
Indeed, indeed, and I think that either of these teams will make an excellent opponent for them. So that will, of course, be coming up after this series. We got a whole best of 7 first before we get to the grand finals. And what do you think, Nilly, of this double scout opening here from Secret with both Huns and Indians? Goes to the...
It feels pretty standard, right? And as we've seen a lot of times, doubling very early on is nice if you can force some fights. Not that important if you want to kill villagers, because most of the villagers are under the TC very close or pretty wallable. And it feels like the Max, he can defend for now the 2v1. And then, if Villese gets onto 8, 9 fletching archers, he gets into a scary army.
Yeah, totally. Of course, the archers... going to perform very well once you start getting them up and rolling. It's just a matter of you really can't get them caught out of position, especially in lower numbers, as the scouts will just absolutely wreck them. But of course, Suomi holding on for the time being. You can see that Secret playing very sort of open, which is, I guess, more of what they are used to doing.
Well, let's see about that. The Max now with some quick walls potentially behind here. No, he had 0 wood left, so couldn't go for any walls behind there. Needed to cancel before that, and is scaring away the Viper, who is just waiting for bloodlines for himself. Has 7 military, everyone with 16 villagers, as you can see. That's obviously being super even for Indians, Huns, and Ethiopians here at the start. But the Viper is now going for the engagement, and he has quite a lot of HP. TaToH coming from the side as well.
Indeed, he is maybe going to try and get a villager snipe. Looks like he will get it. Some nice little bit of control there from our red player. And Viper going to maybe try and get him as well. Of course, a 2v1 will be in favor of Secret quite heavily. This is what Nilly was talking about with the power of double scout openings. Just the ability to 2v1 people. The archer dude, in this case, Mr. Villese, nowhere near his teammate's base in time. And that will be very significant losses for the Max. Not losing too many villagers, only losing, I think, 1, but very importantly, losing almost all of his army.
Indeed, I think with the strategy, if you are playing as the Max, I think you need to have your walls up a bit quicker. You need to avoid those fights. Didn't have the villagers in his TC either, and I just feel like Villese needs to do massive damage here. Otherwise, it's looking pretty good in game number 1 here for Team Secret.
Yeah, totally agree. If you're going for this sort of thing, you need the wall, because it feels kind of obvious. Like, obviously, Secret, they recognize that, okay, the Max is going to be super vulnerable right now because the archer-making player in Villese isn't going to be able to reach him in time. So I feel like as the Max, it's like, okay, I'm probably going to get doubled right now. However, scouts can't shoot over palisade walls, so, you know, quick walling in villagers would be really safe, but obviously didn't really get that in on time. And now it's just a matter of can Viper hold on against these fletching archers with actually +1/+1, and of course for Ethiopian archers, so it could be a little tricky.
And look at the KDs, right? The Max 4-10, he was heavily fighting already. Meanwhile, Villese yet to see a first kill or loss here and gets the first villager kill. So perfect stats for him so far. And well, he doesn't want to be caught off guard in open field. Look at that. Army values should be horrible for him. He needs to fight in that very tight choke.
Indeed he should, but if he does fight in that choke, there really isn't a whole lot Viper and TaToH can do to stop him. Of course, Viper does have the second lumber camp, so he can transport his villagers over. He's even going over to the forage bush. Maybe going to be an opportunity for the Max to try and snipe a villager, but TaToH coming in with his own scouts. They have bloodlines. Viper obviously has bloodlines, so the Max's scouts are going to be significantly lower in quality. And the damage that Suomi's getting done here seems very sort of like annoyance, nuisance damage, and not what they need.
Yeah, one villager killed, some idle time forced. Yeah, the Viper, well, he is now getting... Oh, God. Oh, look at that. He is trying to block the archers from getting back into that area. Nice try there, but didn't get enough HP on it. And now we have the next attack here. Some counter attack from TaToH against Villese, but he should have enough archers at home. Continues to stay annoying here, but the Viper, he's just going for the other woodline and seems to be fine.
Indeed, that should be the case. Actually, maybe a couple villagers caught out for Villese. Yeah, one villager was sniped by TaToH. Nice job from him. You can take those engagements so much more comfortably if you have bloodlines. And, oh, Viper trying to catch TheMax with his scouts. But of course, those fletching archers are just a very scary prospect for those scouts to engage, especially without +1 armor.
Look at how Villese is debating there as well, just moving out. The Viper is sending all villagers to the top line. Now some idols here. Let's take a look. Can Villese take this engagement? Meanwhile, he is scaring away TaToH at home. And another X here. Now, oh, skirmishes by the Viper. He feels like this might be his only option to be really safe. One lost villager at the idol at the side there. Not too important. Viper still with 8 villagers here at the berries. They could be in some danger.
They could be. TaToH is ready with his own scouts and 3, 2, 4, and no bloodlines. No way you can take that engagement. And ooh, looks like there might be a little bit of a trap right now. As well, I guess Villese is coming in with his own reinforcements, and those are going to be quite scary. We do have +1 armor coming in, which I said is going to be very important for Viper and TaToH. Viper actually not quite with +1 armor just yet. Will this skirmisher armor make enough difference?
Doesn't seem like it. Numbers weren't that important. TheMax even chilling with one of his scouts here. And a nice amount of kills surely from Villese. And those are all costly scouts. It seems like TaToH and Viper, they need to go back. Archers reinforcing quite nicely here. And now that's a scary army here from our Finns. Viper needs to run.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we were talking about, is that the archers, if you can keep them alive, if you can prevent your sort of mass from getting chopped in half, which, you know, Villese definitely was very important for him to be able to escape with his first group of archers so they could, you know, regroup with the second group of archers. And now we're looking at 19 military, which is more than TaToH and Viper put together. So it's going to be, I think, a little bit of a tricky spot for them to defend. Viper is going to go for the counterattack, taking a little bit of TC fire. Not really getting a lot done.
Yeah, untypical for him. Let's take a look. Villagers heard from earlier. Let's take a look. Those scouts, they should be able to do some damage. One villager going down. Second one most likely as well. And scouts, maybe 2 go down. Seems like a lot of HP were traded off.
Yep. Well, actually, Viper will be able to get one more villager if he wants to. Viper not paying attention.
He is not getting his quick walls up at his woodline. Let's take a look. Those will be some dead villagers. One already going down. And oh, some mismicroing here. Archers now one-shotting villagers. Nice amount of archers here for sure. And Ethiopians, they fire extremely fast. But I think he needs to run away from here. Beautiful move from TheMax. Also blocking that area so that the archers can get home safe.
Yeah, that was some really nice teamwork in that fight. I mean, you know, it's what the Finns are best at, and of course, TheMax and Villese have probably played more 2v2s together than any of the other Finns, like as a duo. They just played so many games together, and now we're in a situation where Viper is actually at the lowest villager count and lowest military count. He's at 32 pop.
That's brutal. TaToH at least is bringing 52 to the field, but yeah, it seems like the Finns now doing 2 arenas for themselves. As you can see, Villese completely walled. We have a lot of zoned out area for TheMax as well. Not a good control of his gold though. What's happening?
It's just the Max's walls, I think, are very funny. It's like that's a campaign base. Just the different little random sectioned off areas.
Yeah. Oh, and now it gets another layer, and I think that layer makes a lot of sense. And let's take a look. We have now the move in here from Villese. I think that will not be stopped. TaToH not with the greatest vision. The Viper was running away. And those archers, they cannot be answered. No one on the way to Castle Age yet.
Yeah, that is a little bit surprising, especially that TaToH isn't on the way to Castle Age, because he has been pretty much unattacked or undamaged this entire game. He has a huge farming eco. Did go for the double stable play, having to constantly remake scouts because Secret has just been in desperate need of army without anyone really making that that heavier archer play or for the fast castle play, and without playing say as walled off as MbL and Nicov were, you're not really as easily able to defend yourself against this early aggression.
He did go for double stable and is now up as well. Same for Villese, will lose a villager most likely. It is a pretty big army again for the Finns. Let's take a look at maybe the overall army value. Look at that, 2.4k to roughly 1.2k. So the Finns at the moment with a lot more firepower.
Ooh, that's a cool stat from Capture Age. Yeah, that's something that'd definitely be really useful to have for all upcoming tournaments. Of course, they're trying to bust their way out of jail, make sure they have an escape route, especially now that we do see Secret taking control of this hill. Not really going to be something that Suomi is going to want to be fighting. And I think that especially once this timing comes in of less hitting Castle Age with Crossbow and Bodkin, of course, we'll be 100% able to afford that with the extra food and gold. Should be a really nice timing for them.
Villese is trying to find another that's like the perfect spot for him, right? Wood in the back, hill for him as well, and there's no way that TaToH can take this fight. Now maybe focusing down those skirmishes might be an option. I think this is a critical fight here. I think this should go way better for the Finns.
I totally agree. I mean, they should have way more raw firepower, and then once Castle Age comes in, yeah, TaToH can get light cav, but and of course he is, but the crossbowmen are going to be way more deadly as they are, well, a gold unit. And even TaToH forced back for the time being. He also is down the forging upgrade, which TheMax has, so that's going to be even worse for him. And right now, Nilly, we're looking at around 40 military to 8.
Oh man, Villese and TheMax, they're going for the kill here. This is brutal. 37 to 8 indeed. The Viper can only offer one single unit at the moment. Goes for the gold over at TaToH's base. What is happening? This is so weird. Completely ignores his gold at the back. And now Crossbowmen are moving in. Light cav upgrade. I think that won't be enough. He needs knights and he needs masses of them.
Yeah, I mean, Huns do have the faster working stables, which can, of course, help you catch up if you are in one of these sorts of dire defensive situations. And he does have +2 armor and bloodlines at the very least, but already plenty of idle time. Viper's villager count is absolutely abysmal. And yeah, I mean, at home, it's not like Suomi has to do anything particularly insane. They haven't expanded onto additional town centers yet, as obviously you will be needing to mine stone for that. But Max just adding on second stables, and they can keep up a lot of pressure right now without really having to commit a whole lot.
Why are they not going and trying to find some more damage? That's a bit surprising to me. Yeah, they were just waiting for maybe Thumbring and Ballistics, and now continuing. Yeah, it seems like that was the timing. And maybe they're just waiting for the light cap upgrade for the Max as well. If he gets like 4 camels there, it's impossible for TaToH to ever win any fights again.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's something that we didn't even talk about, is that we're looking at Huns versus Indians. And yeah, that's not great for the Hun player, to say the least. Even the market gonna, I guess, get sniped right now. And they're just gonna call GG right there, is Secret. And another very quick and decisive Arabia game.
Oh man, that was intense indeed. And that was like... so many people said, oh, every game we see only archers. But, well, if one player like TheMax can play the 2v1 with minimal losses as he did, then his teammate can really dominate the game. And Villese was just so good. Got in over here at the Viper space and he lost so many resources. Did try to run with villagers. And first tiny upset. TheMax and Villese winning the home map of Secret here. 1-0 lead for them.
Oh wait, I thought it was always game 1 Arabia, so it's Secret just chose Arabia.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. Learning these things on the fly, but yeah, no, just really well done there for Suomi, like you were saying. And the going right into archers, it totally paid off. It's actually now the second time today that the Ethiopian fast archer play has worked out.
Yeah, that's true. And next map will be Chaos Pit. Let's take a look at the achievements here for game number 1 on Arabia. I think Viper's resources should be really bad. His KD, not great either. And Villese, 34 largest army. Villager count, you say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the villager count, I think, is the most telling. 47 for TaToH, 46 for both of the Finns, and then 38 for Viper.
Yeah, not
That
really
is
getting any gold. Wood, he
way
is
too far
behind.
behind.
Food, he is behind. Overall gathered resources, he's under 10k. Everyone else way above. Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, strong play for sure here in game number 1. And now they have Chaos Pit, their home map, working for them. What will we see again? Franks, Byzantines? Maybe Slavs, Byzantines?
Teutons?
Hmm.
Rubenstock?
Well, it is
Put me
Feudal
in,
start,
coach.
so douching is not really an option, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Alas.
But yeah,
It's why Rubenstock isn't playing. He's protesting this tournament. He's never going to play another DM with you, Nilly.
let's see about that. And yeah, he didn't sign up. And TheMax, he is playing DauT with Rubenstock, and here playing with Villese, so maybe adjusting to those settings. And well, they looked really strong in game number 1. Now their home map is coming up. I'm excited to see that. With me is Mr. Onlu and spec delay down to 1 minute.
Hype.
Hi.
But yeah, I think Franks should be a pretty good pick here. I think the fact that we didn't see Franks in game number 1, because where I was getting the Arabia game 1 mixed up is because Doubles Age always says Arabia game number 1, and we see Franks there all the time as the cavalry civ of choice. But of course, if you're in a situation where forage bushes represent a more significant part of your available starting batch of food, it'd be way better.
Yeah, that's true. We will see about that. And game number 1 is starting. We indeed will see Franks and Byzantines here starting capture age now. And then we can jump into it. TheMax and Belize leading 1-0, but obviously Viper and TaToH far away from out of this. We are jumping into this here. Feudal age start, medium resources. Take it away, Onlu.
Alrighty. So yeah, we pretty much called this one. We have TaToH in the red as the Byzantines here to, I guess, the center east of the map. His teammate will, of course, be Viper here in the yellow as the Franks to the north. And our victors in game number 1 will have Villese in the blue as the Byzantines, once again opening with the very fast archery range. And TheMax will be his typical Cyan Paladin civ with the Franks already with a couple scouts and a market. Players really favoring the market with the scout opening.
Yeah, it seems to be quite a good option. 300 gold to start with, and buying 200 food just means that you can get some production rolling for yourselves quite quickly. Archer range and barracks, something we didn't see in the Chaos Pit a game earlier. What do you think about the early archer range opening? Can you afford to produce from both?
Well, of course, with the Byzantines, the spearmen are going to be cheaper. But it still should be fairly tricky. We see 2 archers out already. I think we can really just see players valuing spearmen so heavily in these settings. Actually, TaToH opting to go for the skirmishers instead. But yeah, obviously, the scouts are going to be able to work so much havoc in various villager production lines, and really needed some sort of defense against that. But looks like both teams sort of squaring up here.
Oh, first archer going down. First kill here for the Viper. And archers, that's a big question. What do you want to have? Archers better against the spearmen for sure. But maybe skirmishers might be the better option. I'm not convinced.
I think it's probably going to be archers in the short run, because you have that gold. So like in the very early game, gold is like a very abundant resource because you're not spending it on anything else, whereas you do need the food for spearmen and villagers, and getting your upgrades out in decent times. So I kind of like the archer idea a bit more.
Viper now fighting, microed back his scouts beautifully away from the spearmen of Villese that is coming over. TaToH not with a lot of ranged units at the moment. Was he housed? I'm a bit surprised. He is sitting at 8 military. Both the Finns at now 9 and 8. Slightest advantage by the Finns.
For secret. Yeah. Well, I guess in terms of kills so far, got 4 kills to 1 death in favor of our team here to the north. Everyone just going ahead taking deer, trying to get all the food they can to support their armies. No fletching or anything like that. No, I guess, stable, or I guess cavalry upgrades. No bloodlines for Franks, obviously. And yeah, just fairly even. People taking careful engagements.
Oh, God, this is so intense. You really don't want to lose a single unit here. And yeah, you already mentioned KD, way better at the moment for Team Secret here. Actually, it evened out a bit, 6-4, TaToH losing some. The Viper stays very active. He has the market. He should be the one really telling TaToH where to go. Same goes for TheMax. Maybe being the leader here and telling Villese where they want to find good engagement. So far, not a single raid on the eco.
Oh. TheMax very cautiously engaging right there. I feel like he could have gotten some more range unit kills with his scouts. But, I mean, when in doubt, Suomi will always tend to be more passive and not go for the riskier plays.
They are ahead in villagers. The Viper at only 16. Did he get wheelbarrow and I didn't catch it? No. So he idled his TC for sure. A bit surprising to me there. The Max with a better start here than the Viper. Same military amount, less villagers.
That is very uncharacteristic for Viper. I mean, usually his macro is immaculate, but yeah, just to down a couple villagers.
Well, might have been a conscious decision. He was housed for quite some time, my chat is saying. Okay, well that sounds like the Viper as well. He's now going to the side. Let's take a look. Can the Max maybe get some quick wards behind there? Yes, he can trap this army. Might lose one villager, but the Viper should lose quite a lot here. Oh man. Lots of HP losses. Not too many scouts lost though. That was kind of okay for him.
Yeah, I would say that is pretty much... It was an okay trade. Nothing I think anyone's going to be... crying themselves to sleep over. Maybe getting a little extra scout pick off. Nope, nice backup. Actually, TheMax will be the one getting the scout kill onto Viper, dipping his hand into the cookie jar one too many times right there. And we see now TheMax going over to his Forge Wishes, should be great for his food economy. And yeah, everyone else seems pretty even except the Viper, who's just randomly down 3 villagers.
Well, being housed does suck. I talked to him before NAC and thought, okay, what is your biggest weakness? And I told him, I think that you're housed too often. And he said, yeah, I'm only housed often because I stream. And if I don't stream, I'm not housed. And I was like, skeptical Hippo. Skeptical Hippo.
New Nilly emote coming. With the narrowed eyes of the Nilly Hippo. I can see it.
And okay, uncharacteristic move from the Finns, actually splitting off, and he is at the right hand side, he being Villese. The Max is still in between his teammates, and oh boy, this is an Axe here. Ooh, let's take a look. Everyone at 24 villagers, TaToH 1 ahead, Viper 2 behind, and that army might get caught off guard. Let's take a look at the 2 spearmen. Is he maybe sniping this deer on the way out? Not really. Now catching the army off guard. The Viper is taking a good engagement. Spearman cannot really interact.
Yeah, catching a couple spearmen is nice, but none of the skirms died. But it looks like it feels like the army of TaToH is way larger, though, just on paper. Okay, it looks like Villese is bringing in some reinforcements. Yeah, nothing too crazy going on. Everyone, like I was saying, just being very careful in how they want to take these, as a botched fight will instantly lose you this game.
Yeah, so true. It can easily snowball here. We are seeing some team walls being set up from both teams, and the Max now freeing his villager here. Do we see the big engagement? Let's take a comparison in army values. Super even. 873 HP to 864, so I have no idea how to call this fight.
It's all going to come down to who has the better control as a team. And yeah, it's going to be the total determining factor. It looks like composition-wise, there's a little bit more scouts for... Actually, no, they're pretty much even. What am I talking about? This is just all down to who takes the better engagement. Blacksmith getting denied a little bit for Viper. Max already has this up. He's even grabbing the forging upgrade, so maybe that could be the big determining factor. But TaToH getting fletching, so both teams are going to be having a blacksmith upgrade in just a few seconds. This is really close.
Oh, Villese already has fletching, so it would be 2v1 there. The Viper, he's around. I think he is ready to fight. He just finished his blacksmith as well. That could be a good intel for the Finns that they can take this engagement. They know the Viper is without any upgrades. Spearmen are now going to strike the engagement at the front. The Max not with the greatest positioning. He missed some hits here.
Yeah, that was a little bit of an awkward engagement, but oh man, I feel like Swomie is okay. Looks like Viper scouts are indeed getting cleaned up.
Oh, what
And
Viper scouts! Now he's sending one more over, but yeah, that was a pretty good fight here. The Viper's simply lacking those upgrades. He had forging, yeah, but no defense upgrade really hurt him in those fights. The Max didn't have it either, but well, he avoided the shots a bit better. And now the tower rush starts. I didn't see that coming.
yeah, wow. Yeah, didn't see that coming either. Four villagers on stone here for Villese. And normally speaking, tower rushing is very strong on this map when you start with 200 stone. And I really don't see a whole lot of answer to a bunch of scouts. As long as the skirmishers do a good job focusing the spearmen, which indeed Villese is doing, I feel like the Maxes can just keep powering scouts and crush Viper.
I think so as well. Look at that. Those villagers super exposed trying to fight down this tower. I don't really see too much value there. And we don't have the highest spearman numbers for TaToH. The tower might go down eventually, but that's a lot of idle time.
Even Villese sniping the spearman with the tower right there. And yeah, just even if the tower goes down, you're already causing Viper a huge headache. And yeah, now all the skirmishers are dead. And now I don't know why the Max is retreating. He can just kill the skirmishers. Totally killed skirmishers.
Well, let's see about that. And he is moving in again. The Viper, I'm expecting a second stable from him. Indeed, let's take a look at the comparison of those team walls since both are disengaging. The Max, he did get some walls off, but not the full wall of left-hand side. A bit better. Who is chopping out to the outside? The Viper seems like 1 tree away. We have Villese 1 tree away. TaToH is already through now. And, oh, the Max, he's pulling a Hera.
Yep. Actually, Villese is as well. Why?
Yeah, he did
These
start a bit
people have
earlier.
played these maps before.
It's their home map.
Yeah. It seems so strange.
Okay.
I don't get it.
TaToH, 21 military, the Viper at 3, lowest villager count for him, but Villese had some losses as well. Did we not see the villager losses, or what happened there? Was it the 5 forward villagers?
Yeah, it was the 5 forward villagers that died.
Ah, okay. I thought he